Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's 2024 MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest between the visiting 14th seeded Braintree High Womps and the hosting 3rd seeded Brookline High Warriors. We are in for a treat today, folks. Not just because it's going to be an awesome game, but because I'm not alone here in the broadcast booth today. I am joined here making his own playoff debut by my color commentator, my aspiring young broadcasting apprentice, and Brookline High School freshman, Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. Brookline up against Braintree. Brookline ranked number 3rd, Braintree 14th on paper. Just from that, it might look like this could be a landslide victory for Brookline, but Braintree beating Brookline in their matchup this season, so it really could go either way. It's going to be a test for Brookline, but I think they can pull it out.
As you mentioned, Sam, Brookline and Braintree faced off in the regular season. That game at Braintree on October 1st. Brookline fell behind 2-0 in the first half, and while they were able to get one goal back, scored by Velena Chernysheva, assisted by Nora Shu, they were not able to complete the comeback and suffered a loss. That loss to Braintree, the only game that Brookline lost to a team that did not finish top 7 in the final power rankings, as Brookline got their high seed in large part from having the biggest strength of schedule of any team in MIAA Division I, as they played 7 games against teams that would go on to finish in the top 7 in the power rankings, went 0-5-2 against them, but went in a strong 8-1-1 against anyone ranked below the top 7 to finish with an 8-6-3 regular season record. But that one loss outside the top 7 was to the team they are facing now in Braintree. The Womps, like I said, getting out to a hot start. They scored the first goal of that game in just the 2nd minute on a score by senior Hannah Carr. And then they scored midway through the first half on a header by Caitlin Nugent, assisted by Victoria Berry. So this should make for quite the contest here. We got soccer under the lights here at Parsons. Brookline versus Braintree, Warriors versus Womps. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Soccer. Gets around the last one, charging and shot, scores! Anna Leshley charging in. Could it happen already? Yes! Kimbrough sending one forward for Vianello. Vianello charging in. Vianello scores! All right, we are soon to get this one underway. According to the scoreboard, a little less than 2 minutes before the opening presentations, when we'll get starting lineup and national anthem, and then the start of the ball game. So I don't think we'll have time to go through the full rosters here today. My apologies for that, folks. But as always, we remind you, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, we encourage audience participation in the live chat or in an email if you're not comfortable using YouTube's live chat system. Anything from, rooting on your favorite team or your favorite player, letting us know where you're tuning in from, to more important stuff like letting us know if there are any technical problems going on with the live stream. If at any point I sound wrong or Sam sounds off or you can't hear Sam or anything like that, or If we're mispronouncing any names, particularly on the Braintree side, as I've only covered them one other time, so if I'm messing up any pronunciations, I encourage corrections in the live chat. I want to give all these young ladies the best coverage I possibly can, and to me, part of that does mean getting their names right. But a little less than 30 seconds so soon, the PA announcer will be heard, and we will soon be getting this one underway. You excited, Sam?
Yeah, super excited. I think Brookline, they're going to be out for blood in this game. Losing that game 2-1 to Braintree this October, they're going to want revenge almost in a way, but just it's really going to give them the motivation to keep going and get this victory.
All right, we'll see how the two teams have grown, changed, and perhaps adjusted since their last matchup back in October. But here's the PA announcer.
University for this MIAA Sweet 16 Girls Soccer Championship matchup between the 14-seeded visiting Braintree Womps and your number 3-seeded Brookline Warriors. Participating student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. If you require assistance, please call upon an MIAA school or security official. And now the starting lineups for the visiting Womps. Co-coached by Ryan Kuteri, assisted by Ali O'Rourke. Senior captain number 3, Riley Burke. Senior captain number 14, Aaron Kelly. Senior captain number 15, Kiana O'Sullivan. Senior number 16, Hannah Carr. Senior number 6, Cole Moran. Junior number 11, Victoria Berry. Junior number 13, Frankie Mazzini. Junior number 5, Caitlin Nugent. Junior number 12, Maya Ranieri. Sophomore number 4, Mia Francis. And tending the net tonight for the Womps is freshman number 1, Liv Whalen. And now the starting lineups for your hometown Brookline Warriors. The Warriors are coached by Ben Peters, assisted by Owen Jones and Sarah Schuster. Senior captain number 26, Sydney Freeze. Senior captain number 23, Valena Trinidad. Senior captain number 9, McKenna Hammond. Senior captain number 18, Anna Leslie. Senior number 15, Babette Hall. Junior number 14, Maribel Kesselman. Junior number 13, Julia Pianello. Junior number 3, Elin Lindgren Palm. Sophomore number 6, Paige Hammond. Sophomore number 12, Jameson McGee. And standing in there for the Warriors tonight is senior number 38, Julia Sherman. Our great nation has persevered through the leadership and sacrifices of men and women who have served or are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite veterans and current military personnel to stand. We thank you for your service. We now invite you all to stand and direct your attention to the scoreboard area of the field as we salute our flag with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, those were the starting lineups and national anthem, and now we will soon be getting this game underway. Sam, your first time calling a playoff game with me. You excited?
Super excited, a big matchup, and I think it's going to be a solid win for Brookline. I think they're going to win by multiple goals. Again, as I was saying, they're going to want this win more than any other win, more than probably just as much as any playoff game, probably more considering the fact that this was one of their only losses on the season. I think they're gonna win big.
Well, if it is a win by multiple scores, then it's certainly going to mirror what happened in last year's playoffs. Last year, in the round of 16, Brookline took on Needham, a team that also beat them in the regular season last year 2-0, and they ended up winning by multiple scores in a 4-0 contest with that one. So we'll see if that plays out. Sam Lowenstein calling his shot out here. We've got our first note in the live chat from G. Freeze from Indiana, rooting for Brookline. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the game.
And let's hope the trends continue tonight.
And it'll be interesting to see if some other trends hold with that. In that round of 16 game last year against Needham, Brookline co-captain Anna Leshley recorded a hat trick in that one. And, of course, for those who followed my round of 32 broadcast of the game against Brockton, you know that not only did that kind of mirror last year's round of 32 contest a bit, with Brookline putting up 10 goals in a 10-1 win over the 35th seeded Boxers, but also that Anna Leshley recorded her second career postseason hat trick, finishing with a team-high 4 goals and 2 assists, with the first of those 4 goals going for her 30th career goal. So we'll see what happens here today. Looks like Braintree is going to be playing from our left, Brookline from our right. Brookline in their blue jerseys tonight with white outline jersey numbers. Braintree on our left in white jerseys with what appear to be blue jersey numbers. So we'll soon be getting this one started.
Well, Brookline, Anna Leshley, one of their best players, or she's had one of their most successful seasons. She's dominant in the midfield, scoring those multiple goals last game, but even when she's not scoring, she's able to facilitate for others, be dominant in the midfield, really impact the game.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Dartmouth is getting one heck of a player next year. That's for sure, as Anna Leshley has shown an ability to play all over the field. But I imagine they're going to have her in the midfield today. You know, kind of a forward midfield spot perhaps. We shall see. But Braintree is going to get the opening possession as we are soon to get this one underway any second now. The Womps will have the opening possession here in the round of 16. 40 minutes on the clock. And there's the opening whistle. We are underway. The Womps opt to work it all the way back to their back line and then boot it across midfield. It goes off the head of Mirabelle Kesselman, kind of going the wrong way, but it's chased down by Babette Hall. She kicks it upfield, goes off the head of a Braintree player. Tapped towards the middle by McKenna Hammond. Anna Leshley had it for a second but couldn't keep control of the bouncing ball. It's taken back by Braintree. That kick went off the official, and they just let it keep going as Braintree maintained possession. A kick up is chased down by Hall and tapped back to the goalie, number 38, Julia Cherwin. Her kick deflects off a couple players and corralled by Braintree. I think that's not quite sure. I'm having a little trouble reading the jersey numbers out here tonight with how dark it is, but I'm going to do my best as we go. Braintree working it from the far side corner, blocked out of bounds, and Braintree is going to have the first corner kick of the game.
Brookline playing a compact defense focused on staying near to the goal, forcing Braintree out to the left side.
Corner kick coming in towards the box, goes off ahead, going the wrong way out of the box, and couldn't quite be corralled by the kicker, as good box out job there leads to a throw in for Brookline as they survive Braintree's first salvo.
Well, again, Brookline, when Braintree was trying to get, Braintree almost had a ball going right down the middle to Rainieri, but Brookline was able to close out. Then Braintree tried to go force it to the outside, Brookline closing that down.
Now Braintree takes it away again, but that pass misses as it's cleared out by Hall. Gets out to the near side to Elin Lindgren-Palm. Pass to the middle to Velena Chernichev. Now up to Anna Leshley. Leshley dribbling with it. Leshley tries to send one across, but it's intercepted by the Braintree defense. Dribbling with it now, I believe, is Riley Burke. Sends one forward too far, but it's going to be chased down by Hall, and Hall is going to kick it up the line, find Julia Vianello. Vianello battling on the far side, but it's taken away. Relentless play on the wings by the Womps, but the pass too far was intended, I believe, for number 6, Clodag Horan, and it's going to go out of bounds and be a goal kick for Brookline.
Babette Hall in the right place at the right time multiple times. She's been the key difference maker on defense for Brookline these first couple minutes.
Brookline now working it down the near side. Kicked up field. Hammond tries to tap to the outside. Sydney Freeze does keep it in bounds. Now dribbling towards the middle. Kicks one across to Julia Vianello on the far side. Vianello battling. Lost out of bounds. Last touched by the defense of Braintree. It'll be a throw in for Brookline.
Brookline trying to attack on multiple fronts, having Sydney Freeze run down the left and Vianello on the right, but Braintree, they've been getting wide enough to defend against it.
And we've got a foul called as Leshley gets tripped up from behind. This could be a good chance for Brookline with a free kick pretty deep in the opposing end and from a bit of an angle, which can set things up for a potential crosser.
Well, Brookline, a lot of their success they've had this season has been on these crossing balls, spreading out the defense.
Mirabelle Kesselman lining up to kick this one. Lifts it towards the box, and it bounced along. Lindgren-Palm kicks it, and it's going to be taken off a hop by the Braintree keeper, Liv Whalen.
Lindgren-Palm looked like she couldn't decide whether to pass it or take a shot, and almost took a little bit of a shot, but too indecisive, and the keeper right there.
So hard to take those kicks off of high bounces, as it throws your body so off balance. Dribbling with it now, number 4, Mia Francis sends it forward. Couple passes, I believe that's Horan now with the ball. Kicks it across a little too far, and it's going to be corralled by number 12, Jamie McGee. Sends it out to the near side. Lindgren-Palm forward to Freeze. Freeze dribbling, looking. Kick slightly disrupted, going to bounce across the middle and be intercepted now by Horan. Horan kicks one forward, misses everybody, and it's going to be scooped up by Cherwin.
The defense for Braintree closing out on Sydney Freeze. They've been pressing from side to side.
Now this one rolled into Hall. Hall kicks it, goes across midfield up to McKenna Hammond. Hammond tries to push it forward for Vianello. Bit of a scrum for the ball, but Vianello does recover. Vianello now kicks it upfield way too far. That's going to roll out the back line for a goal kick.
Neither team getting solid chances in the final third. Brookline, they've been playing back, more of a soft coverage, and then Braintree playing a press with different strategies, but they both work, Jesse.
And we'll see a goal kick now from Braintree. Looks like it's going to come from one of their backs. This one lifted high. Off the head of Leshley, deflected, recovered by Chernychev, sends one forward, deflects, a race for the ball, and it's too far, picked up by Whalen. Hammond was giving it a chase, but no chance at that one.
McKenna Hammond trying to watch the ball, but it just goes out of her reach.
This one also goes off the head of Leshley, bouncing. Leshley corralled it briefly, but it's knocked away, goes up to Horan. Horan now lifts it down the near side off the head of Lindgren Palm, but kicked forward once again, cut off by McGee, pressured from behind, and they call the foul on number 12, Maya Ranieri, who kind of came over the back on that one.
Maya Ranieri, she's been one of the more dangerous players for Braintree in these opening 6 minutes, but Brookline's, their soft defense pays off again.
This one lifted up to Freeze. Freeze taps it back to Lindgren Palm. Now to Leshley. Leshley stumbles a bit, but manages to break through, but now knocked away by the defense. It's recovered by number 5, who sends it forward looking for Horan. Cut off by McGee. McGee looking for somewhere to go with it. Ultimately gives it to Hall. Doesn't have to clear it out of bounds as Hall passes it out to the far side to Kesselman. Kesselman kicks it up the line looking for McKenna Hammond, but it's going to bounce wide and out of bounds.
Brookline continuing to use Kesselman on those long balls on the free kick, and then there, just a little bit out of reach. Brookline, they've been really playing on their heels, but when they've had the chances, they've been able to get pretty deep into Braintree's territory.
This one goes off the head of Chernychev, tapped forward by Leshley, kicked back by the Braintree defense, stopped by Leshley. Leshley pushing it up to Vianello. Vianello dribbling through with it. Pass across to an open Chernychev. Chernychev over to Freeze on the near side. Freeze cuts towards the middle. Kick to the middle. Leshley deflects it, trying to chase after it. It's cleared out, but right to Lindgren Palm. Pass back. Chernychev tries to spin. Collides with the defender. Keeps the ball. Pass out to Lindgren Palm now. Lindgren Palm running out of room on the near side. A bit hard for us to see, but she does get the pass to Freeze. Knocked loose, and again, a bit hard to see with the crowd out here at Parsons. But I think we got an out-of-bounds Brookline ball. Throw in goes to Leshley. Leshley trying to either get out of the corner or draw the deflection. That's going to roll out the back end, and it's off of Braintree. So Brookline is going to have a corner kick chance here.
Well, Braintree, again, playing that press defense, but Brookline and Leshley finding a way to get a corner kick opportunity.
We'll see what Brookline does here. They did score one of their 10 goals off a corner kick against Brockton. This one flies in very high, deflects down. Now lifted up and wide and out of bounds as that one came off the foot of Lindgren Palm, who is trying to cover that far side for a long kick like what we saw there. But again, those high bouncing balls not able to get a clean kick off of it.
And Brookline, again, trying to counter the press with stretching out, playing from both the left and the right side with a tough angle.
This one lifted up off the head of Chernychev, right to the vicinity of Vianello. Vianello cuts away from one defender, surveying her options, decides to go back to Hall to reset. Hall boots one upfield, bouncing along. Defense whiffs on the clear, and it's taken by Freeze. Freeze taps it out to Lindgren Palm. Lindgren Palm tries to send it in. Clear was blocked by Freeze, recovered by Leshley. Leshley cuts towards the middle, looking, pass back, Paige Hammond, tangle up with the defender, no call in either direction after a physical tangle there, and it is Braintree running on the corner. McKenna Hammond coming all the way back from the striker position to disrupt as it's cleared out by Kesselman. Recovered now by the Womps. The attempted kick is blocked by Vianello, and now they send a pass up, and it's stolen away by Brookline. Passed back to Hall. Lifted up in the air. Freeze taps it over to McKenna Hammond. Hammond gets cut off by the defense of, I think, number 4, Mia Francis. I'm not sure. I'm having a little trouble reading some of the jersey numbers. I don't think that was Francis. I think Francis is in the midfield, but either way. it'll be Braintree ball.
Well, Freeze just trying to tap it around to him and maybe get a crossing opportunity.
This one goes off ahead towards Freeze. Off her head goes back now. Tapped. That's Francis in the midfield. It's kicked upfield by the Womps. Hall's going to be first to the ball. Sends it back to Sherwin. Sherwin lifts it up the middle. It's downed by Braintree. Long pass up. Finds Ranieri. Disrupted by McGee at the last second. And a loose ball is kicked away by Paige Hammond.
Brookline constantly been able to close in at the last moment, but Braintree's had numerous near chances, and the chances that they've gotten have been more quality. Neither side with a shot yet, but Braintree, dangerous look there.
No shots on goal to speak of from either side through the first 11 minutes as this throw in for Braintree sets them up in the far side corner. It's knocked out of bounds, stays on the sideline. It'll be a throw in, not a corner kick.
And it almost seems like Braintree, they're on to whatever game plan Brookline's been doing.
This one passed out across her, through, inside the box. They tap it back, a shot, missed wide. Boy, that was a scary chance as Braintree almost got the first score, but Brookline, kind of like what you said, Sam, just kind of staying back and trying to respond more to what Braintree's doing. We got a conference with the officials to discuss that last call. Are they discussing whether it's a goal kick or a corner kick? They might be trying to figure out whether or not that was deflected.
It looked like the ball curled around. It didn't look deflected to me, as it just curled right at the right post.
They're going out to talk with a third official now to confer.
Everybody converging. But yeah, as we were saying, Jesse, seems like Brookline, they're almost playing how there's prevent defense in football. That seems like the strategy they've been playing.
Kind of a zone look.
Yeah, for sure, like a zone.
Okay, looks like the call has stood as a goal kick for Brookline. Sherwin's kick goes off the head of Leshley to Lindgren Palm, who kicks it back. Intercepted now by Riley Burke, but McKenna Hammond disrupts, gets it to Freeze. Pass back to Lindgren Palm. Up the line for Freeze, couldn't keep it in bounds. And it'll be Braintree ball, number 11, Victoria Berry, to throw it in. This one deflects to Chernychev, pass up Leshley. Leshley lost track of it, but a slide tackle knocks it forward, kicked back by number 14, Erin Kelly, out to the far side and out of bounds, Brookline ball.
And Kelly just trying to find somebody to stretch the field of Brookline and get maybe possibly a shot in the box via a cross, considering Brookline and their soft defense, maybe they can get there, inch their way through and expose open spots.
We're almost 13 minutes into the first half here. No score as of yet between Brookline and Braintree. This one deflects up, and Freeze kicks it across to a wide open Elin Lindgren Palm. Charging in, shot, score! Elin Lindgren Palm with her first career goal at the varsity level, and she picks the perfect time for it.
Elin Lindgren Palm, she curls it past the goalie right over her head. Couldn't have placed it any better. And what a majestic first goal for Elin Lindgren Palm.
Off the assist from Sydney Freeze, who read that perfectly, and a great lefty kick from Elin Lindgren Palm, beautifully over the outstretched hand of Whalen and under the crossbar as Brookline takes the 1-0 lead. Elin Lindgren Palm off the assist from Sydney Freeze.
This beautiful arc on that ball. Lindgren Palm, goal, almost looked like the goalkeeper couldn't read it right.
Boy, not much you can do when a shot is that good. But what surprised me about that play, Sam, was you really called it there in terms of the defense as that aggressive to-the-ball defense from Braintree allowed Brookline to work it right to left, just like you were talking about. It left Lindgren Palm wide open, and she took advantage of that in a big way.
Well, Brookline, they've been having Sydney Freeze run down that left side. She's been wide open. And then once the Braintree defenders came to Sydney Freeze, Ellen Lindgren Palm, nobody around her. And she just tried her luck, and she made it.
So that will go as the first career varsity goal for Elin Lindgren Palm at a great time here in the postseason.
And a goal for her to remember forever.
Absolutely. 1-0, the Brookline advantage. And boy, it's amazing. Elin Lindgren Palm in the last game against Brockton had 2 assists, her first career playoff assists. And this, her first year as part of the varsity team, and she's having a great first year as this long kick from Kesselman is caught out of the air by Liv Whalen.
Kesselman blasting it in, looking to get it to our near post, but just blasted it right at the keeper.
This one goes off ahead, looking for, I think, Ranieri, kicked away by Hall. McKenna Hammond deflects it off her head, but it's kicked up in the air by number 15, Kiana O'Sullivan. Battle on the far side, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball.
In Brookline, you see Lindgren Palm on that left side again, pretty much wide open. One defender on her.
And we'll see if Braintree adjusts that defense after how well Braintree took advantage, or how well Brookline took advantage of that one.
Doesn't look like they've changed much so far. Only one defender.
Brookline takes this one away as it's passed back to Paige Hammond, now back to Hall. Hall sends it up the middle, intercepted, kicked back, downed by Hall again, and this time she boots one high, goes off the head of the defender the wrong way, but it's going to bounce back to Whalen. So no chance for Freeze or McKenna Hammond to get after that one.
McKenna Hammond's been trying to position herself for headers in that area, a little bit outside the box in front of the goal, hoping for a good bounce.
Now Hall kicks this one up to Leshley, disrupted from behind, but recovers the ball. Opts to go back to Hall. Hall thought about going left, instead goes a little bit right, lifts that one upfield. Bit of a race, but it's going to be collected, I think, by Kelly. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and Vianello gets the favorable deflection as she throws it in back to Leshley. Leshley backing down, spins, tripped, and the foul is called.
Braintree with their aggressive defense, what it came with, besides leaving people open, it came with a lot of fouls. This is now the 3rd free kick from this exact position for Mirabel Kesselman.
We've seen Kesselman try for a pass. We've seen her try for a shot. She's a little closer than the past couple of chances. We'll see what she opts to do here. There's the whistle. This one flying towards the box, over the bar. She went for a shot that time, but no dice.
And that one nearly went in, just curled its way into the top of the net. And Mirabel Kesselman, we heard below us, she should try her luck, and she did there. Just narrowly missing.
22 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Brookline leading Braintree 1-0 off the goal from Elin Lindgren Palm, assisted by Sydney Freeze, and we've got a timeout called here by Braintree. We got a couple notes in the live chat. I mentioned G Freeze before. We also got a Braintree fan in the live chat, Kyle Burke, saying go Womps. And then we got one of our regulars, MH Paget, saying nice shot, Brookline, referring to that shot by Elin Lindgren Palm. Let's take a look at this one again, Sam, because that play was pretty. It started on the right side. The throw-in deflects up to Sydney Freeze, who had pulled over from the left to right side, which left that left side completely uncovered as Elin Lindgren Palm kind of snuck in from the back line, left completely uncovered, and made a beautiful shot.
And that shot almost had a Roberto Carlos-like arc. It spun its way back. It's a beautiful goal.
Such an asset to have someone who can kick from their left foot with a touch like that. That's That's what you want to have on that left wing, because it, obviously same as with handedness, right-footed kickers are going to be more common than left-footed.
And Brookline, even before that, they were trying to exploit that left side, and then Braintree, with a lapse in defense, a mental lapse, Lindgren Palm got wide open, and she took the chance. And it seems like Braintree, they've been allotting a little bit more defense to that side, but Brookline, it's still been a huge advantage for them. And here and there, Braintree, they've been having to play extra aggressive on the right side, leading to more fouls. Brookline's really been able to almost get in their head.
Boy, and getting the first goal is such a huge advantage. I mentioned before, Braintree, last time they faced Brookline, they scored the first goal of the game in just the second minute of action, and that really put Brookline on their heels for the rest of the game. Now the script has been flipped, and it is the Womps who are on their heels here in the first half. 21:52 on the clock as we come out of the Braintree timeout. We'll see if they make any kind of adjustments here. Goal kick. Deflects off a couple of heads into open space. Chased down by Braintree. They pass it out the far side. Now send it forward. I think this is Ranieri racing up the far side with it. Not entirely sure. Cuts back. Tries to cut around another, but stood up by, I think, Kesselman. But now another one swoops in, kicks it across. Not able to tuck that one in the net, and it bounces out of the box. Being fought for on the near side, out of bounds. I think it's going to stay Braintree ball.
Ranieri running it down the left side. She's made a huge impact this game for Braintree. Been their best offensive player as of so far.
We got a substitution, I think, coming in for the Womps now. As this throw-in knocked immediately out of bounds, and I think that one went out the back line. This is going to be a corner kick for the Womps. Bit of a chance for them here.
The Womps just like that getting by, and they haven't had a shot on goal yet. They had that one shot that almost went in, just missed the right post, but haven't had a shot in a while.
This one flies in, deflects down, cleared out by Brookline. Kicked back by Keanu. Sullivan finds an open chance for Riley Burke, but could not get enough on the high bouncer as it bounces out of bounds, deflected by another Braintree player.
Knocked around a little bit. And as the goalkeeper for Brookline, Julia Turin, was diving forward, almost looked like she mishandled it, but it did look like it went out for a goal kick.
So now a goal kick coming from, I think, Hall. Goes off ahead, not chased down by Vianello, as that went off a Braintree player, out of bounds, Brookline ball.
Brookline's offense quieting down a bit, but Braintree still allotting their defense on their left side, Brookline's right. Lindgren Palm still patrolling the left, looking if she can get open.
Anna Leshley breaking through, pushing it forward, knocked away by the defense. Race for the ball. That was a physical collision, but nothing was called as McKenna Hammond recovers, escapes a couple defenders. Hammond dribbling, passes to the middle. Freeze couldn't corral it, and it's cleared out by the Womps. Gets it up to Ranieri. Ranieri lifts it up, looking for Horan. Horan's got it, but Kesselman chased her down and knocks that one out of bounds.
Kesselman, a last-ditch effort there to knock it away, but Brookline getting a good chance. That ball in from Anna Leshley to Freeze, barely knocked away at the last second.
This one gonna roll out the back line and be a goal kick.
When Braintree, the Womps, they've had a little bit more success recently. They've just been running it straight, not even worrying about passing, just running it straight up that left side.
And we got, I think, some subs coming in for Brookline. I see number 20, Priscilla Hill, taking over for Elin Lindgren Palm on the near side wing. I imagine they've subbed out the far side wing as well. Looks like it. Just trying to identify as that throw-in goes to Leshley. Leshley off and running, kicks it out to Hill on the near side. Hill dribbling, fakes, now kicks one forward, looking for Freeze. Freeze couldn't stay with it in a sea of white jerseys as it's taken away by Burke. Now booted upfield. Finds Horan. Horan racing down the far side, cutting towards the middle, finding some room, lifts a pass forward. It's a race for it now, and Jamie McGee is going to get there first and kick it out of bounds.
And Horan there, weaving her way through the defense. Brookline has been so used to intercepting passes. Well, there's, with the Womps exposing their soft zone, just skirting around them.
Yep. So the other substitution for Brookline was number 7, Amalia Lindgren-Palm, the other Lindgren-Palm sister, now into the game as Julia Cherwin takes that kick off one hop. 17 minutes to go here in the first half. Brookline up 1-0. This one flies up, bounces back, booted away by Barry. Up the near side, this is Ranieri passing it. They work it towards the middle, now back outside, looking for Ranieri, but too far, gonna roll out of bounds.
Ranieri staying involved. Brookline's really had to account for her and the attacking on the left. But their zone is really, that's one thing that the zone defense, even though the dribbling that Braintree's have a lot of success in the dribble game, haven't been able to get close.
This one kick goes off the head of Francis. Freeze tracking it, just lets it bounce out of bounds since it was last touched by Francis. And it's going to be a throw in for Brookline. Hill sends it back to Chernychev. Now to the middle, finds McKenna Hammond. Hammond kicks it out the far side, finds Kesselman. Kesselman sends it forward. Kicked away by the Braintree defense. Tapped upfield, headed forward, but it's going to be kicked away by McGee. Now fight through the middle, no handball call there as it's lifted forward. Stopped by Kesselman, but right back to a Braintree player, but lifted too far. Easy pickup for Cherwin off that kick from, I think, number 5, Caitlin Nugent.
Nugent not able to get a good shot because Brookline had 2 defenders back there.
This one headed forward by Freeze. Barry's going to chase this one down, try and clear it away, but didn't get enough on it. And it's recovered by Freeze, but deflected a couple times. Freeze takes it back, dribbles towards the middle. Freeze looking for an opening. Freeze passes to a cutting Paige Hammond, and Hammond couldn't power her way through the defense there. Ball is taken back by Amalia Lindgren-Palm as the defensive Kiana O'Sullivan stopped that one at the last second. And Leshley tries a pass blocked and recovered by the Womps, cleared out. Kesselman recovers, gives it back to Paige Hammond, who sends it back to Hall. Hall's kick deflects. Now another kick blocked. Recovered by Brookline, given to Leshley. Now over to Chernychev. Chernychev out to an open Hill. Hill dribbling. Pass back, Chernychev. Chernychev winds, kicks one, saved by Whalen.
Chernychev just taking a chance. Similar situation to Lindgren-Palm, a bit more out. She was trying to get a strong curve on the ball. Relatively easy save for the keeper.
This one recovered again by Brookline. Amalia Lindgren-Palm gives to Leshley. Leshley trying to dribble through, but stopped at the last by O'Sullivan again. Off this deflection, Chernychev taps it back to Paige Hammond. Now across to McGee. McGee sends it to Freeze. Freeze cutting around. Pass forward. McKenna Hammond cut off by Barry, and it's kicked out of bounds.
Riley Burke slipped a little bit, gave Freeze an opportunity.
Got some substitutions coming in while I was wrestling with a windowsill there. Throw in is going to be sliced. I think that's going to go out the back line and be a Brookline corner.
Mistake there.
The substitution for Brookline was number 22, Eva Berkson.
As Jesse, Braintree's defense, they've been adapting a little bit more. Brookline's strategies playing back, covering the whole field. So they've had a bit more success.
I think it's McKenna Hammond who is kicking this corner kick for the Warriors. This one flies in, header deflects, walled off by the Braintree defense, still in the box. And the kick sliced off the foot of Chernychev out of bounds.
Liv Whelan was trying to corral it. It got kicked away by one of her defenders.
I mean, if it didn't get kicked away, there's a possibility that might have just bounced right into the net, as that was a chaotic play in the box right there. Whalen was being screened by Priscilla Hill on that corner play. This goal kick goes off the head of Chernychev out to Lindgren Palm. Lindgren Palm back to Chernychev. Sends it forward. McKenna Hammond swoops in and takes it with some forward momentum. Trying to keep control of the ball now. Pass it out to Lindgren Palm. Lindgren Palm. Pass. Leshley. Leshley looking. Has to dribble back because the defensive pressure and pass it back to Kesselman. Kesselman lifts one across the field. Deflects down. Kicked away by, I believe, O'Sullivan. Off the head of Berkson. Kicked forward now by Braintree. Hall boots it away as that bounces high in the air. Headed away by Kesselman. Berkson tries a kick. It's blocked and corralled by the Womps. Battle for the ball. Kicked away. And swooping in for it is Chernychev. Chernychev kicks one high. If this isn't offside, then Hammond's got a chance. Stopped by Whalen.
Paige Hammond,
McKenna Hammond.
McKenna Hammond split the defense. And a crucial save from Liv Whelan.
This one downed by Chernychev, given over to Hill. Hill splits the defenders, kicks it upfield, kicked right back by, I believe, O'Sullivan. Battle for the ball, and Hill takes it away from Ranieri. Pass up to Freeze. Freeze sends it back to Berkson. Berkson's pass cut off, well read by the Braintree wing there. A bit hard to see on the far side here in the dark. But racing down with speed. Trying a crosser, walled off by Hall and kicked away. Now a battle in the midfield. Stays with Braintree. Pass forward blocked. And tipped towards midfield. Still scrumming for it, but Braintree keeping control as they send it to their back line to Kelly. Lifts it upfield, kicked back by Chernychev. Up to McKenna Hammond, taps it over to Freeze. Freeze sends it to the near side to Hill. Hill dribbling. Tries a kick, walled, but recovers. Now lifts a crosser right to Leshley. Leshley tries a shot, lifts it. Too high, goal kick.
Leslie getting open in the middle. Just missed, hit it with the pressure, but Brookline, they've shifted their focus. They've still been playing it on the left side, but as Braintree adjusts their defense and shifts over, they've been getting those balls through the middle a little bit more. Like that play with McKenna Hammond, she almost getting a goal. Got wide open through the middle of the defense.
Brookline showing a strong ability to move the ball to different parts of the field laterally as this kick is headed down by Hill, goes right to Freeze. Freeze dribbling, trying to gain the edge, gains the edge, lost control of the ball, trying to get it back. She does. Not a lot of room to work, and she lets the defense knock it out of bounds. And it'll be another corner kick for Brookline. McKenna Hammond to kick it.
Brookline's they've had a lot of corners on that left side as Braintree works to close out. Sydney Freeze, big body, trying to, one of the strongest players on Brookline.
We got another sub coming in for Brookline. This is number 19, Jada Kimbrough, replacing Sydney Freeze as this kick comes in and is kicked away. This one booted upfield by Braintree out to the far side. It's going to roll out of bounds. Be a Brookline throw-in.
The owner of the silver Ford Explorer license plate V68048. Please move your car. You're blocking a fire lane. Again, a silver Ford Explorer, license plate V68048. You need to move your car. You're blocking a fire hazard.
Uh-oh, someone's in trouble.
Yep.
Braintree takes that ball, sends it forward. Kesselman there, and Kesselman kicks it away.
Mirabel Kesselman all over that. And that's why Brookline have allotted to make sure that their defenders stay back, don't get over aggressive. And that's why, haven't given up a goal yet. Bunch of chances that if they came out, compensated for something else, Braintree would have had open opportunities.
Strong defensive effort so far from that line of Kesselman, Hall, and McGee, as this one kicked away by O'Sullivan. Now a pass forward, finds, I think, Ranieri. Ranieri taps one through, finds a teammate, but Hall recovers to disrupt it. Now a pass, gets over, and a shot, diving save, Sherwin, rebound chance, and that one rolls in, and Braintree has tied it. I'm trying to see who scored it as they are swarming the player who scored it. Were you able to see who that was, Sam?
Nope, couldn't tell. A beautiful first save by Julia Sherwin, but she can't get to the second opportunity. Looks like she got a touch on it too. It just rolled by.
Yeah, that one, I'm just waiting for the player to turn around. I think I see who it was, but I'm just waiting for her to turn around because currently she's facing us, as a couple players have been giving her congratulatory pats. I'm trying to see who it is as soon as she turns around. As this one goes back to Chernychev, I'm trying to follow the ball and also follow that player to see if we can identify her, and it's just not turning around. Having a little bit of trouble with that as Chernychev sends this one back to Hall. I think it's number 22. I think it's number 22, Peyton Kluwer, who scored that one on the rebound. I'm not entirely sure who got that first shot. Did you? It might have been Ranieri. I'm not sure.
I mean, Ranieri, she's been super dangerous on offense today. Kluwer and Jesse, this has been a game of right place, right time for both sides. Lindgren Palm getting on the right place at the right time for her goal, her beautiful goal, and then this goal by Kluwer just in the perfect spot at the back post to tap it in.
And again, it's been a consequence of the defense that these two teams have opted to play. You've been talking about it, Sam, as Braintree dribbling towards the middle here, trying to send a pass forward, finds one, now an extra pass. Amalia Lindgren-Palm comes back and knocks that one away, but again, you see we've been talking about that softer defense that Brookline has been playing and how that's allowed Braintree to kind of stay on the attack, even if they're not getting the highest quality looks. That time, being able to stay on the attack is what paid off for them in that score.
But also, they were able to find the open spots as Brookline tried to compensate by playing a bit more aggressive.
That foul called on Kimbrough for the push. Excuse me. And so it's going to be a free kick for Braintree now from a similar spot to where Kesselman's been getting him. Excuse me. Has been getting a bunch of free kicks. Pardon me. Throat's going. This one lifted into the box. Headed away. Couple deflections. And ultimately recovered by McKenna Hammond. Now stolen back by Kiana O'Sullivan. Passes forward to Maya Ranieri. Offside's called.
Well, even with the offsides, Ranieri was trying to get a curling ball to the back post. Missed it. And just trying her luck in it. Well, that goal from Braintree, Brookline, showing they played good zone defense, been in the right place, the right time the whole game, but that one moment that they couldn't account for the extra attacker.
That one flies out of bounds. It'll be Braintree ball. Throw in, battling for it. Leslie blocks the kick, but staying with it was Burke, but her pass intercepted by McGee. Pass up Chernychev. Chernychev trying to send a leader up the line, but it's cut off and kicked away by O'Sullivan.
Brookline quick throw in.
And that one is miscommunicated as Leslie was trying to go back to Hill. Out of bounds Braintree ball. This one goes off the head of Chernychev. Downed and corralled now by number 5. Pass towards the middle, finds one, extra pass, open chance, Braintree charging in, and they score again. And Braintree has taken the lead. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that might have been number 4, Mia Francis. I'm going to try and get a good look at the player they're congratulating, but I think that was number 4, Mia Francis, who scored that one. I've got an eye on the player who scored it, just waiting for her to turn around.
Always a waiting game. It's the Brookline zone getting open.
Let's go, Brookline!
Getting cracked open.
And that one, Brookline now huddling up as Braintree has completely flipped the script with 2 quick goals back-to-back off of one another. And I think that second one was scored by Mia Francis. Again, I've been having trouble all night reading these small jersey numbers on the back of the Braintree jerseys. And actually, I don't think that was Francis. I think that might have been number 16. I think that might have been number 16, Hannah Carr. I think Hannah Carr scored that one.
Hannah Carr, who had a goal against Brookline earlier this year.
I believe so. So I think I mistakenly identified that as Mia Francis. I think that was actually Hannah Carr who scored that one. I'm not entirely sure. Bit rough. But I think it was Hannah Carr who scored the go-ahead goal for Braintree there. 2-1 here in the late minutes of the first half as Braintree lines up for a free kick.
It's almost seemed like Braintree's had Brookline's strategic number. They've just known tactically where to go at every moment.
Well, certainly in the past few moments, definitely, as they have turned this game around completely.
Even before that, they were getting the open shots, just Brookline was able to close out on them.
This one lifted across the field, gets out to Kesselman. Kesselman lifts one high, looking for Freeze. Freeze giving it a chase. Keeping it inbounds, battling for it on the near side. It's kicked away by Braintree. Amalia Lindgren-Palm kept it on the attack and got the favorable deflection. It'll be a Brookline throw-in as they quickly throw it in for Leslie. Leslie walled in a sea of white jerseys there. The attempted clear stopped by Lindgren-Palm, who gets the favorable deflection again. It'll be another Brookline throw-in. They're trying to make this move fast as the scoreboard clock now frozen at 2 minutes to represent stoppage time. Leslie passes it back to Chernychev, who swings it over to McGee. McGee sends one forward, misses Kimbrough there, and it bounces right into the waiting arms of Whalen.
McGee just curling it to the wrong side of Jada Kimbrough, who's looking half back, half forward, unable to track it.
This one through the middle, tapped from Lindgren-Palm over to Chernychev, now over to McGee. McGee kicks one, deflected down and cleared out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul on Hill, I think, and give that ball on a free kick to Braintree.
Jesse, the big difference with these 2 goals from Braintree, they really found their poison against Brookline. They found the weapon, and that's they've been using two attackers side by side to stretch out Brookline. Brookline, they've been able to play compact, but they've been really abandoning that, playing more of an aggressive defense.
Well, it's like you said before, is this foul called on Kimbrough? It's like you said before, Sam, they were playing a kind of zone. What's the best way to attack a zone? You put 2 guys in the same area and you win the numbers game.
And that's what happened on the first goal. Cherwin made a great save, an incredible save, where she was sprawling out to her left, but the second chance was just trickling by her. Second goal similar, just the second chance ball, or just a cross, not even a second chance, just a cross. As you were saying,
Short crosses, really.
pure numbers game.
As that is going to be halftime now. Our score at the half, the 14th seeded Braintree High Womps 2, the third seeded Brookline High Warriors 1. Brookline getting the first goal scored by Elin Lindgren Palm, assisted by Sydney Freeze. They seem to have the world in their hands for a large chunk of that first half, but then Braintree came out firing with goals that were scored by, I think the first one was Peyton Kluwer, and the second one was Hannah Carr. I'm not even going to try and get assists, as I've been having trouble reading the Braintree jersey numbers all night. But that is where our score stands at halftime.
It's been a back and forth affair, but it seems that Braintree's found the strategy, and that's the most dangerous thing for a team like Brookline, riding high going into this game. But Braintree, they beat them in the regular season. They've had their number, and that's been evident ever since. Real change in attacking strategy from Braintree.
As we go into this halftime break, I remind you to check out the description section of this video, where you can find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, girls and boys, varsity, JV, and freshmen. And you can also find down there some links related to our local charity spotlight, Brookline Cares. Brookline Cares is a volunteer organization run by BHS students, which seeks to raise awareness and funds to help people experiencing homelessness. Brookline Cares works closely with an organization called the Empowerment Plan. The Empowerment Plan hires and trains those experiencing homelessness to manufacture their special type of coat, known as the Empower Coat, which can double as a sleeping bag. The coats help to keep those struggling with homelessness warm during these colder months, while the jobs manufacturing those coats can help break the cycle of homelessness through gainful employment. Over the past 3 years, Brookline Cares has purchased and distributed over 200 Empower Coats and over 1,000 pairs of Bombas socks to local community organizations and emergency departments that care for the homeless, and you can help them bring more warmth to those in need. Down in the description section of this video, you can find a link on the website classy.org, where you can donate money to the Brookline Cares team, supporting their efforts to purchase more Empower Coats. Or if you're a student interested in joining Brookline Cares, you can find another link in the description section. This one to a site on wixsite.com, where you can find out more information about the group and how you can contact them. Once again, check out those links down in the description section down below and help spread the warmth with Brookline Cares. 2-1, Braintree leads here at half. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. We're going to take a break and mute our mics, but we'll be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. All right, back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, here to bring you the second half of this 2024 MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament round of 16 contest between third-seeded Brookline and 14th-seeded Braintree. And folks, right now, Brookline is staring down the barrel of a potential upset loss here in the round of 16, trailing Braintree 2-1. Brookline got the first goal of the game, scored by Elin Lindgren-Palm, assisted by Sydney Freeze. But Braintree has answered back with goals, we think, from Peyton Kluwer and Hannah Carr. That has now given them a 2-1 advantage.
Well, an upset so far. And also Braintree winning the only game against Brookline versus a not high-ranked team. Definitely it's in their DNA.
Here we go in the second half. Can Brookline answer back? Ball deflecting through the midfield. Kicked forward by Velena Chernychev. And off the deflection, Anna Leshley takes it and takes off with it. Anna Leshley almost broke through, but one last defender came in, took her feet out from under her. Leshley is still down on the field, and they've stopped it for an injury stoppage.
Just hoping she's okay.
They are calling for trainers here. Anna Leshley was weaving through defenders with speed, and then one last one came in and stopped her dribble, took her out hard there.
Just cleaned her out. She's walking on her own power. Good sign.
That is a good sign. All we can really do is speculate from this, from our perspective, but boy, you never wish for an injury on either side, no matter who you're rooting for. And if you're Brookline, that's definitely a player you don't want to lose. Anna Leshley,
one of their best players, and also just purely most impactful what she does in the midfield.
She's going to sub out for number 22, Eva Berkson. We'll see how long she stays out. Looks like she's standing over there on the sideline, just waiting to come back in on the next dead ball. So that is a sigh of relief for Brookline, as this drop ball pass immediately intercepted, kicked down to the Brookline end, where it's going to be taken by Jamie McGee. Pass back to Babette Hall. Now out to Mirabelle Kesselman, who quickly passed it up to Paige Hammond. Hammond's pass intercepted, and now Braintree with a rush. Quick passing, kicked away by Kesselman. Kept in bounds by Braintree, lifted all the way down to Julia Sherwin, who juggles it a bit, but does corral it.
Brookline with a good amount of defenders back. Kesselman in the right position. They've been getting burned and hurt badly when they've only had two back or one back.
Now this one kicked away, gonna fly out of bounds. And this is now gonna be a substitution for Brookline. Anna Leshley coming right back into the game in place of Eva Berkson after that brief injury step out. The Brookline fans breathe a sigh of relief over that as Kesselman throws in this one. Goes off the head of Clodag Horan, recovered by McKenna Hammond, trying to break through. The kick deflects off of Hammond's back, recovered by Sydney Freeze. Pass it back to McGee. McGee being pressured and run over. No call as Braintree off and running with it. And Hall keeps the defense with a nice kick block there. Didn't over pursue the play, forced Braintree to make a decision. And Hall with a big block there. Now Freeze with the ball. Passes one up to Leshley, who taps it to the far side to Elin Lindgren-Palm, who lifts a leading kick, looking for McKenna Hammond. Cut off by the defense of, I believe, Erin Kelly. Kicked towards midfield. A scrum for the ball. Recovered by Braintree. Kick upfield. A search for the ball. McGee boxing out. Pass it back to Sherwin, who corrals it a bit clumsily and kicks it away. And battling for it on the near side wing. It looks like it's controlled by Braintree, but they lost it out of bounds. Brookline ball. Out of bounds in our blind spot here. Not much we can do with the capacity crowd here at Parsons Field. Leshley pass across to an open Chernychev. Chernychev sending one forward, blocked, recovered by Freeze. Freeze now dribbling with it. Pass across, out of reach for Leshley. Attempted clear kick by Francis, deflected, recovered by McKenna Hammond. Taps it over to Leshley. Leshley looking, lifts one out to the far side. Lindgren Palm with the ball, looking, still looking. Kick walled and cleared out of bounds. Brookline ball.
Brookline trying to find Lindgren Palm multiple times there and keeping up that strategy where they got the goal. Lindgren Palm getting wide open in the first half for the opener. It seemed like Braintree, they found a way to defend it. They've been playing almost, Braintree's taken parts of Brookline's defense in their zone schemes.
Now an interception by Paige Hammond. Her pass knocks right back to her, but she can't stay with it. Recovered instead by Chernychev. Pass back Kesselman. Kesselman sends one forward a little too far, and it's going to be picked up by the Braintree netminder, Liv Whalen.
She was looking for Anna Leshley over the middle, but just a bit too far ahead.
A bit of a false start on the music playing there, but we're okay. Battle through the middle, won by Braintree, but Brookline keeping up that pressure. McKenna Hammond battling with two Braintree players, but the Womps keep it. Pass up to Carr. Carr sends one upfield. And it's a physical battle, knocked out of bounds by Kesselman, and it's going to be Braintree ball. Substitution coming in now for the Womps.
And now's the game of who's coming on.
Yeah, looks like going to be replacing Maya Ranieri, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, these
That's Ranieri.
Braintree jerseys have been so tricky to read, as I think Peyton Kluwer's come back in. Scrum for the ball, kicked away by Kesselman. Kelly kicks it right back. Kesselman back the other way, off ahead. Downed by Braintree and blocked by Kesselman there. McKenna Hammond swoops in for the ball. Hammond racing up the near side, kicking one forward. Sydney Freeze racing after it. Boxed out, and Whalen is able to come out and pick it up as Freeze couldn't get around. The box out by
Horan.
Really? That was Horan?
Looked like Horan to me.
Either way, that one deflects right back to Freeze. Freeze looking around, kicks it across, looking for Vianello. Vianello holding it, dribbling towards the middle, looking, has to pass back to Chernychev. Chernychev swings it out far side to McGee. McGee back to Chernychev. Chernychev sends it up to Paige Hammond. And she sends it back to McGee. Brookline looking for an opening that hasn't been there yet. Pass goes back to Hall. Hall goes up the middle, Leshley. Leshley dribbling over to the far side. Up the line to Lindgren Palm. Back to Leshley. Forward to Freeze. Tap for Lindgren Palm. Back to Freeze. Freeze charging in. Freeze with a chance. Freeze a shot. Missed it wide. A great look by the Brookline offense. Fantastic quick passes to set up a chance, but Freeze not able to get it in to tie it up.
Freeze just shooting it across the face of goal. Barely missed it under pressure. Nearly got it in to the right post. Brookline still using Elin Lindgren Palm through the left side.
This one bouncing along. It's going to be collected by Braintree, and they're off to the races. Running with it down to the near side, I think, is Hannah Carr. Again, these jersey numbers are murder to read out here. This one lifted towards the box off the head of Hall. Headed down by Kesselman. Stays in the box. Francis taps one over to, I think, Carr. Now back to Francis. Francis gets a shot through, but not a powerful one. Might have been slightly deflected, and it's taken off a hop by Julia Sherwin.
Looked like Francis just topped the ball It dribbled forward to Sherwin.
Sherwin punts this one. Bouncing along, Leshley heads it forward, looking for Freeze. Freeze walled off by, I think, Kelly. Now recovered by Braintree. Pass up, finds Carr. Carr, pass out far side for Kluwer. Out of bounds, Brookline ball.
Lingland Palm in defense. She quick throws.
And now a kick across from Chernychev to Vianello. Quickly taps it back to Kesselman. Kesselman lifts it up the near side, looking for McKenna Hammond. Stopped by Kelly, but lost it out of bounds. Brookline ball. Vianello a quick throw in, looking for Leshley. Leshley turning around, tripped up from behind, and this time does draw the foul call. And it'll be a free kick chance for Brookline as Leshley got tripped up by Francis.
And a long kick for Kesselman here. With Brookline, McKenna Hammond, she's been pretty much always open right in the middle of the field. They've been using her just to be the person to go after all the balls. Nobody else is around.
Kesselman lifts this one towards the box, headed away. Chernychev trying to keep it forward, but it's kicked away again. Now Braintree dribbling with it. Pass goes across, and a tap out to the near side for Horan, who's now sending it forward for Carr, kicked away by Kesselman. So yeah, it looks like they got Horan on the wing and Carr as the striker, just to help differentiate between the players with 6s on the back of their jerseys. Throw in for Carr, tapped back, Horan lifts one into the box, crashing in, point blank, covered up by Sherwin. Braintree almost snuck in a third goal, but they couldn't get enough on it as Sherwin boots this one away.
A wide open chance, and that's one of the problems with the zone defense. If somebody gets in behind it, looked like that was Nugent on the opportunity for Braintree, but the other team can easily split the zone, and that's what happened with Brookline. 2 defenders on each side. Nugent went through right in the middle, and lucky Sherwin was able to make the save and corral it easily.
Sherwin now gets the pass and sends it back out to McGee. McGee lifts it, finds Freeze. Freeze taps it back. Chernychev boots it upfield, kicked away by, I think, Horan, and corralled by Carr. Carr sends it forward, bounces past everybody, and it's going to be recovered by Hall. Hall kicks it out of bounds, Braintree ball. The Womps still with a 2-1 lead over Brookline as they got a couple subs checking in here. Just over 29 minutes on the clock here in the second half.
Now Brookline just needing to get some offensive firepower. They've been playing on their back, and when the zone defense works, it seems like it's worth it playing a defensive game, but when they're down 1-0, being on your heels is not easy.
That one deflects out of bounds. Braintree ball. Or do they give? Oh.
Yeah, Braintree ball.
Braintree ball way down there. I was surprised where they spotted it. This one lifted towards the box, caught by Sherwin.
And Sherwin had to pat it down.
Now
pretty high kick in.
Rolls it up to Vianello, pass back Kesselman. Kesselman winds and boots it upfield off the head of Kelly and bounces out of bounds, Brookline ball.
And Kesselman now to throw it.
Kesselman throws it in for Leshley. Leshley tries to spin off her defender. Now tap forward by Hammond, just barely cut off. That was almost a good chance for Leshley, as it's going to go out of bounds and be Braintree ball now.
Hammond almost split through the defense to Leshley as Braintree have started playing more of a zone type of defense, still more aggressive than Brookline, but they've definitely been using their strategies, and it's been working.
Brookline works it out to the far side to McGee. McGee up the line looking, or Lindgren Palm up the line looking for Freeze. Kicked away now by Braintree. Chernychev taps it back, gets it to McGee. McGee's pass, not enough on it, and it's going to be intercepted by Braintree. I think this is Carr running with it. Carr turns, fires a shot, missed it wide as Sherwin lets it go out of bounds for a goal kick.
Carr whipping a knuckleball just a bit wide of the right post. A little bit off balance of a shot.
So a goal kick now for Brookline, as they're asking, looks like they're asking for a fresh ball here with 27 minutes and counting still on the clock here in the second half. Brookline playing from behind here. The score identical to their regular season result, 2-1 in Braintree's favor. Brookline trying to come back and at least tie it. They were unable to do that last time. Can they do it this time? McGee passes back to Hall, sends it up the middle. Leshley, too much pressure taken away. Braintree trying to move it out the far side, but the pass misses, out of bounds, Brookline ball.
Jesse, Braintree's been on the front foot ever since they scored that goal, and it seems like Brookline just hasn't had an answer whatsoever. Braintree forcing them to the right side, but Brookline haven't been able to get as much of a chance.
They might have a chance here. McKenna Hammond taking off. Deflected, but she's staying with the ball. Still trying to force her way through. Now disrupted, kicked out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Warriors. Good press up by McKenna Hammond to generate an offensive chance situation for the Warriors.
But even there on a good offensive change, Braintree, they've been bunching up all over the defender, or all over the attacker.
Oh, did they call a foul? I think they called a foul, and this is actually going to be a free kick, not a throw-in. Velena Chernychev setting up for a free kick. Strange angle here, but we see Sydney Freeze in a nearby spot. We'll see what they decide to do. Wall of defenders in front of her.
Perfect chance for a header.
If she can get some lift. Lifts it high. Juggled inside the box and cleared out by Braintree. Brookline could not get it in. Braintree now with the ball, cut off by Lindgren Palm, who passed it back to Hall. Hall lifts it across the field, headed down by, I think, O'Sullivan. Corralled by the Womps, pass forward. Now kicked away by McGee. Deflects over to Chernychev, pass out. Lindgren Palm lifts it up in the air, off the head of O'Sullivan. Tapped down, I think, by Francis, but Paige Hammond cuts it off, passes back. Kesselman sends it up the near side, looking for McKenna Hammond. McKenna Hammond trying to gain the edge. Trying to battle with multiple defenders, kicked away. And lost out of bounds, Brookline throw in. They throw it in for Leshley. Leshley sends it back to the outside. And now knocked out of bounds, stays Brookline ball.
The Womps going back to their strategy of early, the high press, but it's worked out better.
This one kicked away, goes back to Kesselman. Kesselman fakes, now kicks one. Oh, but they called the trip against Braintree, so Kesselman will now get a chance for a free kick from a similar spot. She's been getting a number of these, and just none of them have flown quite right. Can she get this one to go where she wants?
This is the fourth free kick from around this spot. Mirabel Kesselman did hit a ball just above the bar.
This one lifted towards the box. Header chance. Deflects. Chance kicked in! I think that might have been Sydney Freeze who knocked it in. I'm going to take a look at the replay, see if I can get this one. It was so chaotic. Someone got their foot on it. A wild score. Brookline has tied it up.
As we've been saying, right place, right time. And what a way to cap your high school career if you're Sydney Freeze in her senior season.
For now, we're going to say that goal scored by Sydney Freeze, assisted by Mirabel Kesselman. Like we said, a bit tough to see, but that is what we're going with for now. And now we are tied at 2 apiece as this game continues to go back and forth here in the round of 16. That one blocked by Leshley, and Leshley trying to boot it upfield, and a couple players go tumbling away from the ball. No call either way. Is it starting to rain out here?
It started to rain right as the collision happened.
At least that's when I first started noticing it, as thankfully we're indoors here in the press box. This one deflects up to Freeze, tap back Leshley. Leshley turns around, looking, pass out, Vianello. Vianello looking, dribbling, over to Leshley, lifts one for Vianello. Vianello battling, and it's kicked out of bounds. It'll stay Brookline ball.
But just an increase of juice for Brookline. The momentum shifting, Brookline having it way more in the final third.
Okay, so the PA announcer saying that was Vilena Chernichev who scored that one. So my mistake. So I thought it was Chernichev, but then I thought I saw people congratulating Freeze, so second guessed myself. You know, a bit tough. That's one I'm going to check frame by frame when I get home tonight to see if I can figure out who scored that one, because that one was tricky.
It looked like Chernichev to me, or it didn't look like Sydney Freeze. When you said Freeze, I trusted you on it, but I was like...
Now you know not to do that.
It just didn't quite look like her, but another senior and another captain for Brookline, but Elin Lindgren-Palm scoring, so Brookline scoring from a youthful player, a sophomore, and a senior.
So, correction, Vilena Chernichev scores that one. She did score the second half goal last time against Braintree in the regular season, and off a play that also started with a free kick by Mirabelle Kesselman. So eerily similar there, as Kesselman's pass intercepted now, but then Hall intercepts it right back and clears it away. And Chernichev, the only co-captain who did not score in that blowout win against Brockton, she now gets one here. But she gets called for a foul for going over the back on that play. But 2-2, whoops, I just accidentally knocked the button for the replay there. 2-2 is the score, all knotted up midway through the second half. 20 minutes to go, all knotted up at 2 apiece. And a free kick coming up for Braintree with Riley Burke. This one comes in low, booted away immediately by Leshley. Chased down by McKenna Hammond, keeps it inbounds, booted right back by O'Sullivan, knocked down by Hall. Rolls up to Leshley. Leshley pass outside Lindgren-Palm. Lindgren-Palm pass knocked away by O'Sullivan. Gets it upfield to the offense. This pass wide and collected by Kesselman. Kesselman kicks it upfield, finds Freeze. Freeze passes it near side, Vianello. Vianello trying to work her way up the line, but got double teamed and it's taken away. Pass towards the middle. Leshley fighting for it. Leshley takes it back from Burke. Leshley tries to force pass through, not there, but she draws the foul call, and Brookline will get another free kick chance.
Braintree playing the physical game, but they've had numerous fouls now, and again, similar position, not the same position for Mirabelle Kesselman, but arguably more dangerous, closer to the goal.
Closer and more centered. She might go for a shot this time. Goes for a low pass, looking for Leshley. Leshley corrals it, turns around, shot blocked, out of bounds. It'll be a corner.
Brookline applying pressure ever since the goal. And both of these teams, they've been feeding off of the momentum. The 2 quick goals for Braintree, that gave them real dominance over that period of the game, especially after they got the second. But now Brookline's been able to take it back.
Hammond lifts in the pass, no one able to get ahead on it, and it's booted away by Braintree. Corralled by Hall. Hall boots it out the far side, headed away, but recovered by Lindgren-Palm. Pass deflects off a couple. And ultimately collected by Braintree. They kick it up the field. It's too far and gonna roll wide out of bounds. And it'll be Brookline ball. 2-2 the score here with 17 minutes and 20 seconds to play here in the second half. Pass goes back to McGee. Across to Hall. Hall boots it. McKenna Hammond comes back to get it. Deflects back to Paige Hammond. Goes across to Lindgren Palm. Lindgren Palm up to Freeze. Freeze trying to gain the edge. Freeze battling against multiple defenders, keeping the ball, finds a hole, deflects away from her now and is cleared out, but right into the vicinity of Paige Hammond. Paige Hammond sends it out for Julia Vianello. Vianello winds and fires wide, and nobody there for the crosser as it flies out of bounds. Goal kick.
Brookline's been working Julia Vianello more on those crossing balls than Lindgren Palm. As of recently, they've shifted their focus, just switching up the gameplay and trying to throw off Braintree's defense.
We know Brookline very effective at working it side to side. We saw that in the first half, just a matter of which side is left open as this one headed down by Leshley. Freeze passes back, Lindgren Palm, but just wide out of bounds, Braintree ball. Braintree is working it up the far side, but lost it out of bounds. Brookline ball. Quick throw in. Both teams wasting no time on their throw-ins. As Braintree takes it back, kicks it upfield, deflects off Hall. Kesselman boots it away. Headed down. Chernychev boots it upfield, and it's going to be a race for the ball. Getting close to the goal box, and Kelly, or no, O'Sullivan, I think, was forced to kick it out of bounds to keep it away from a streaking Sydney Freeze.
And Braintree, they've been allocating a ton of their defense to defending Sydney Freeze. That's part of the reason why so many people have been open. She's been getting triple teamed, double teamed a lot, triple teamed at some points in this half. Part of what she does, she proves the distraction.
Throw in for Leshley, tripped up, no call as it's cleared out by Braintree. McGee taps it up to Chernychev, but it's stolen away by the Womps. They pass it up. Working down that far side, they've got some numbers now. The pass gets through, blocked by Hall. Ball still loose inside, and it's now cleared away by Brookline. Another big stop from Babette Hall, who's made a few big plays on defense today. Freeze with the ball, goes outside Lindgren Palm, kicks it upfield, knocked away, but Freeze recovered for a second, and now it bounces out of bounds. They're going to say last touched by Brookline, Braintree ball.
And for Brookline, Julia Vianello wide open, nobody even close to guarding her. We'll see if the Brookline tries to shift side to side to get it to her.
Throw in for Braintree. Booted up high, gonna go down to the box. Easy pickup for Cherwin. We might see some subs on the wings for Brookline, so there might not be much more chances for Vianello and Elin Lindgren Palm. I can't tell who the subs are that are preparing to come in, but we'll see as this punt bounces along. Deflects down. Pass back, the pass blocked. And this one kicked away by Hall. Vianello keeps it in bounds, but intercepted by Horan. Horan gets it up to Francis. Francis tapping it forward, knocked away by Kesselman. And she clears it out on the second effort. Leshley pushes it forward, goes off the head of O'Sullivan. Freeze steals it back. Freeze pass for Vianello on the near side. Vianello trying to juke, trying to get an opening, cuts back, looks, spins, still looking. Ball's kicked away, but deflects right to Leshley. Leshley back to Chernychev. Over to McGee. McGee forward, Freeze. Freeze back to Hall. Hall over to Chernychev. Chernychev quickly back to Hall. Hall lifts it, knocked down, taken back by the Womps. Pass to the middle, disrupted a couple of times, but Braintree stays with it. But that kick intercepted by Lindgren Palm, kicked upfield. They tap it back, and it's booted across midfield. Kicked away by Hall. Up to Leshley. Leshley kicks it forward. And the defender's going to let that one roll back to Whalen, who kicks it away from McKenna Hammond. Leshley heads it up in the air. Freeze heads it back to Lindgren Palm. Passes to the middle, intercepted. This pass gets upfield but deflects off the foot, and it's going to be an easy recovery for Hall, who passes it back to Sherwin. Now gives out to Kesselman, 11.5 to go. Kesselman upfield for Hammond. Hammond outside, Vianello. Vianello to the middle to an open Leshley. Leshley winds, passes, wide open Freeze, but it curves a bit much, and she's going to have to chase down and recover it. Still a chance. Freeze dribbling in, trying to cut around, taps it. Leshley fakes, tries to dribble in, too much dribbling, and she gets tripped up and cleared out. A little bit too much passing by Brookline as that clears out, and now some subs are going to check in on both sides. And, we got a midfielder checking in for the first time in a while. Number 8, Juliana Siegel, who suffered an injury early on in the season. She is out on the field for the first time in a long time, and Brookline fans are certainly happy to see her. Now Braintree rushing it upfield, getting tangled up, and a foul is going to be called. I think it's called against Brookline there.
Now a dangerous position for Braintree, but the Womps, they've been playing, they've shifted to a 4-back. That's been part of the reason why Brookline have been trying to pass a ton. It might look like too much passing to you or me, but whenever Brookline was trying to go through the middle, they got closed out.
Free kick, lifted into the box, and juggled by Sherwin, but she chased it down and recovers it like it's a fumble in football. And she punts this one away.
Sherwin's had some struggles with handling. A couple times she's bobbled it up to herself.
That one bounces out of bounds. Brookline ball, throw in, tapped back to Vianello. Vianello decides to go back to Sherwin. Sherwin winding up, kicks it out to the far side to someone who who has also not been seen in a while, number 16, Haley Ament. Deflected away from her. Leshley goes for the slide tackle, gets ball first, no foul, and blocks that attempted kick, but it's recovered by Braintree. So we got 2 players who are absent with injuries for Brookline for a while that are back in, but now we got another injury stoppage, and it's Leshley again. She was hustling on that play. They're stretching out her legs, so it might just be a cramp from, overwork and dehydration. Leshley's been in for every minute, but we'll see.
She went in for the slide tackle. This is the second time she's been on her back. Just hate to see this. We can just hope that it's only a cramp, but just praying it's nothing worse.
Yeah, boy, right off the heel of some good news, seeing Juliana Siegel and Haley Ament come back in for the first time in weeks after they missed significant time due to injury. Leshley getting back up, and play will continue. And so it's going to be a drop ball for Brookline, looks like.
Drop ball here with Mirabel Kesselman.
She's been the resident big kicker for Brookline throughout this game as she lifts this one up to Vianello. Vianello trying to turn around, does manage to get a pass up the line. McKenna Hammond is stopped, but it's knocked out of bounds by, I think, Horan. Vianello throws it in for Siegel. Siegel stumbles a bit, but gets the pass back to Chernychev, who sends it back to Hall and across to McGee. McGee turns back around, slides it over to Chernychev. Chernychev swings it across to Kesselman. Kesselman. Pass back to Chernychev at midfield. Chernychev surveying, kicks one, knocked away. Goes off the head of Kesselman the wrong way, and it's going to bounce out of bounds as Nugent opted to just watch that one bounce out of bounds. Two more subs checking in for Braintree here with 8 minutes to go, and the score still tied.
Coming down to the wire, a back and forth affair from Brookline and the Womps of Braintree. Brookline got off to a hot start with a beautiful goal from Elin Lindgren-Palm, and then Braintree got 2 quick goals, and then Brookline equalized.
This one headed out of bounds by Kesselman. It'll be Braintree ball once again. Horan throws it in off the head of Kesselman again. I think that's going to fly out of bounds once again. We're going to again have limited visibility here on the near side corner.
Right in our blind spot and with all the fans.
This one thrown in. Nugent kicks across her, bounces through, but nobody able to get a good hit on it, and it's picked up by Cherwin. Rolls it out far side to Ament. Ament over to Chernychev. Back up to Ament. Ament cutting towards the middle, and the pass almost deflected by the ref, but does get out to Vianello. Pass back to Kesselman. Kesselman up the middle. Siegel. Siegel turns around looking. Pass misses Vianello out of bounds. Quick throw in. It's going to be chased down by Hall and booted upfield. Stays in bounds. Tap towards the middle. And now a push forward to Nugent. Kicked away by Hall. Going to go up to Ament. Ament trying to take off with it. Pushes it forward for McKenna Hammond. Hammond trying to race up that far side. Cuts back, stops, looks. Sends one towards the middle. And Siegel leaves it for Vianello. Vianello sends it back to Siegel. Siegel pass, nobody there. Kicked away. And cleared out. Goes off the head of Kesselman. Corralled now by Leslie. Leslie dribbling back, looking around, passes back Kesselman. Now back to Hall as Brookline resets. Given over to McGee on the far side. McGee up to Chernychev. Back to Hall. Hall lifts one up the near side, blocked and intercepted. Taking it up that side is Horan. Horan pass up for Nugent. Nugent decides a long kick and misses it just wide. That one almost snuck in the right side corner as Cherwin was just letting it go. Ended up being a smart watch as it goes out of bounds.
Nugent skewing it with the outside of her foot, and that nearly got to the top, or inside of the top post, almost top corner.
This one going forward, Nugent called offsides. Cherwin cut off her advance anyway. Brookline moving with it fast. Siegel with the ball. Siegel kicks it upfield for McKenna Hammond. Deflects back. Oh my gosh, we've zoomed out. Darn it. The window's still really giving me fits here as Hall kicks that one upfield. And that one's going to be knocked out of bounds. Braintree ball. The clock frozen again, this time at 5 minutes. It is stoppage time here in the second half. A winner might not be determined at the end of regulation as a timeout is called by Braintree.
Boy, Jesse, what a back and forth affair. We've had Anna Leslie going in for another slide tackle. She's just made an incredible impact on defense, especially for Brookline, and in her dribble game, but she's made a lot of those tackles, putting the body on her line, putting her body on the line. She's been down twice. The layout plays have paid off.
And it could just be a simple game of next score wins. If we don't have a winner determined by the end of regulation, this isn't the regular season. There are no draws here. We need a winner, so if it is still 2-2 at the end of regulation, we will go to overtime. If there are no scores in overtime, then we're going to be going to double overtime. And then if there are no scores in double overtime, then we go to PK shootouts. And you might say, oh, what are the odds of that happening? Happened to the boys last year in their round of 32 contest. So we'll see.
Also in soccer games, the odds of nobody scoring, it can't be that low, especially this game. It's been off and on, having the rain be off and on. People have struggled with controlling the ball, and anything could happen.
All right, we'll see what kind of anything we get here in the closing minutes as this one immediately goes out of bounds, stays Braintree ball. Another throw in. Battle for the ball, and it's kicked away by Brookline, out of bounds. Stays with Braintree.
Braintree just slowly working it up the right side. Only 2 back now for Braintree to transfer out of their 4 back.
And this one kicked away up to McKenna Hammond, but deflects away from her. Kicked out of bounds by Braintree. And now a throw in for Brookline, knocked out of bounds. Stays with Brookline as they're trying to move it upfield, get a chance at the net. They decide to throw it in laterally to Siegel, passed back for Chernychev, who gets it back to Hall. Hall goes back to Sherwin, and Sherwin kicks it up the middle. It's headed back by Siegel, back to Hall, who slices it there. And this is going to be taken back by Braintree. Dribbling with it now is Burke. Burke down the near side, pass. Now a crosser to the middle, tapped back, could not corral it, and it's going to be chased down by Ament. Ament dribbling, pass, kicked away, out of bounds, Brookline ball.
When Kloger was just looking for somebody, nobody able to get to it, but another near chance for the Womps. They've been just having these little dangerous half opportunities. Brookline's been able to close out well.
Now McGee with the ball, kicks it towards the middle, going to be chased down by Freeze. Freeze taps it for Siegel. Siegel cuts around a defender, dribbles across midfield, still running with it, pass disrupted, and it's kicked away. Goes right to Kesselman, who heads it back forward. Horan trying to cut it off from Vianello, but she runs out of room, out of bounds, Brookline ball. And we got an injured Braintree player down now. Both teams giving it their all in this one.
Looks like it's Nugent down.
And she's back up on her own power. It's not Nugent.
Or no, it's not. It's
I think it's Carr, actually. Yeah, that's Hannah Carr, who is down, comes up looking a little hobbled, but she's staying in the game. Wants to finish the fight as Kesselman throws it in, goes off a foot, out of bounds, stays with Brookline. Kesselman throw in, off ahead towards the middle. Kick was blocked by Leshley, but goes right to another Womps player who clears it away. Hall taps it back, goes up to Siegel, who taps it back to Kesselman. Kesselman kicks it across the field, blocked. But Ament blocks it back. Ament now cutting upfield with it. Ament trying to work her way around, but too many white jerseys. And it's taken back by Horan. Horan kicks it up the line, blocked by Kesselman. Ament deflects it out of bounds.
Horan looking to get Nugent in behind, but Mirabel Kesselman filling the gap.
Horan throws it in for Nugent. Nugent's kick blocked by Kesselman. Kesselman down hurt as Horan kicks this one up into the box. It's a scrum for it, Brookline is down a player in this situation. Kesselman desperately signaling for an injury call, but they're playing Braintree's advantage. Now stolen away by Leslie, and now they're going to stop it as now Kesselman is down hurt.
Well, the referee let play on for when Braintree had it, but then paused it when Brookline had the counterattack.
That's the rule. That's the thing. Otherwise, players would be able to fake an injury and go down to stop an offensive push by the opponent. That's called playing the advantage. If a team commits a foul that does not stop the offensive advance, or if there's an injury and the other team is advancing with the ball, you've got to let it play just out of fairness. But as soon as the team that committed the foul or goes down hurt takes it back, you have to blow the whistle and stop it. It might seem really frustrating, especially in a situation like this, but that is what the rule is. And right now we're just hoping that Kesselman is okay as she is still down on her back. They're stretching out her legs, so it might just be another cramp, but they're going to call for the trainers, and this is going to be at the very least a mandatory substitution. Kesselman, a very tough player who's had her fair share of physical adversity throughout this season. She's gone down briefly hurt in a couple of games. She left that game that we were covering against Bishop-Sheehan with complications with asthma. So you know she's tough. You know she'll give it everything she's got. But this is going to be a long injury stoppage while they check on her, and certainly we hope that she is okay.
Just hope she's okay.
But boy, some exciting postseason soccer out here at Parsons Field. Brookline 2, Braintree 2. As the trainer on site here at Parsons giving a look at Brookline's Mirabelle Kesselman. You know, like we say, no matter who you're rooting for, you never root for an injury, and Brookline certainly would not want to lose Kesselman for any extended period of time with what a key piece she's been on defense all season long.
And the long balls on pretty much all free kicks.
And Kesselman back on her feet. Looks okay as she walks off. So hopefully that was just another cramp.
Out to the Schlunz Gym tomorrow to support the number 2 seed girls volleyball team as they compete for a state championship versus Barnstable. Game time is 1 p.m.
And so Kesselman is going to come out.
Good to see her walking out on her own power over to the sideline and not out of the stadium.
Exactly. You know, this might be a situation like what happened with Leslie back in the first half, where she went down, went out very briefly, but came back in, was feeling okay. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, Brookline is going to be forced to sub out Kesselman, and they're going to sub in Elin Lindgren-Palm to take her place as the near side back. Off the drop ball, Hall kicks it upfield, deflects out to Ament. Ament sends it back for McGee. McGee gives it to Sherwin. Sherwin kicks it up the middle, and it slices off the foot of a Womps player, tapped forward by Ament. And, that's it for regulation. We are at the end of regulation. We are going to overtime.
A nerve-wracking game, back and forth. Really perfectly, evenly played. Both sides have had a good chances, great defense played. It's been an all-around quality soccer game.
To recap the action so far, Brookline took a 1-0 lead off a goal scored by Elin Lindgren-Palm, assisted by Sydney Freeze. Braintree came back, tied it, and took the lead with 2 goals in pretty quick succession, scored by Peyton Kluwer and Hannah Carr. Brookline, though, able to get the equalizer with the only goal of the second half, scored by Vilena Chernichev, assisted by Mirabelle Kesselman. And so now it's going to be a do-or-die overtime period. Next score wins. As I said before, if we get no scores at the end of the overtime period, we go to double overtime, which is still next score wins. If nobody scores in double overtime, we go to PK shootouts. So get hyped, folks. This is going to be a crazy time.
About as good as it gets.
And we got a note in the live chat from a Brookline High boys soccer alum, Jackson McGee, saying, "Let's go GVS." Shout out Jamie McGee, shouting out his younger sister. And Jackson McGee knows a thing or two about shootouts, as he was playing both ends of one just last year in Brookline's round of 32 contest last season, as they were facing a potential upset loss against, I think it was Algonquin last year. They fought to a 2-2 tie. Nobody scored in overtime or double overtime. Went to a shootout. Jackson McGee, the starting goalie for Brookline, he came through with 2 big saves and also scored a goal as one of the shootout participants, as that's part of the craziness of a shootout. Your goalie can shoot. That's totally allowed. But we'll see how things go. We got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds before overtime gets started.
And I think this game could go either way. I think Brookline's gonna come through with the win. I'm predicting it's gonna be in double overtime. So chances back and forth. Brookline gets the majority of the chances in the first overtime, and then as the second starts, maybe halfway through, something breaks through. Brookline gets an opening and capitalizes. That's just my prediction, but it's anyone's game.
Absolutely. I will say, though, Sam, unfortunately, your pregame prediction of Brookline winning by multiple goals is already out the window.
For sure, Jesse. I believed that Brookline was going to really, they were going to go in. I mean, they've gone in extra hard, but I thought that there would be something about it that Braintree thought that maybe they'd already had this game won. They beat them in the past. This is a familiar opponent. And then Brookline would capitalize, but both these sides have been even.
Both teams showing they cannot be underestimated.
And really,
all right, Sam. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Pressure time. Who do you think, from either side, between all the players from both sides, who do you think scores the game winner in overtime, if anybody?
I think in the case that it's the Woms that score, it's going to be Rainieri. She's been playing great on the wings for them. Couple good chances. And then for Brookline, I think it's going to be Sydney Freeze. She's been double-teamed a lot. I could see Braintree focusing their efforts on defense to somebody else. And the moment they take their eyes off of Sydney Freeze, I think she could definitely score the game-winning goal. Getting open, the senior captain, college-bound soccer player. I think she could score the game winner.
Sydney Freeze was the team leader in both goals and assists during the regular season. 9 goals and 6 assists. And she's coming off a hat-trick performance against Brockton in the round of 32, with that first goal counting for her 20th career score in just 2 seasons of offensive production, as Freeze originally played center back for Brookline through her first 2 seasons, but then got switched to the striker position in these last 2 seasons and has proven what kind of impact she can have on the offensive end.
And all around great for the Warriors.
And Sydney Freeze, of course, no stranger to overtime heroics. Those of you who remember last year, she scored the game winner in overtime in the round of 8 against Wellesley to send Brookline to the Final Four. We got 10 minutes on the clock for the first overtime period. Next score wins. If nobody scores in these 10 minutes, we'll go to double overtime.
And Jesse, Sydney Freeze is lined up on the same side as Julia Vianello. That could create havoc for the defenders, for the left back. Both sides with a 3-back. Womps were playing with 4 defenders, but they switched back to 3.
All right, we're just awaiting the official signal. Here we go. McKenna Hammond sends it back to Anna Leshley, who pops it straight up in the air. Deflects down, chased down briefly by Caitlin Nugent, but taken away by a sea of blue jerseys. Julia Vianello kicks it up Sydney Freeze, over to McKenna Hammond. Hammond trying to push through, stopped, and a foul call.
McKenna Hammond, her run got broken up. Womps defenders pleading for a dive, but Hammond getting hit on her way forward.
There's no way she was diving considering she gotten through that defender. She would have had a breakaway chance. Instead, they're going to have Juliana Siegel take this free kick.
She looks a bit confused.
In place of the injured Mirabelle Kesselman. No, that's just the official telling her where the ball is supposed to be, I think, is the confusion. Or not, I don't know. But Siegel, who missed a chunk of time due to injury, could she be the hero here in her first game back in weeks as she lines up for the free kick chance? And some serious confusion. Okay, it was about the placement of the ball. She's moving it back. And the official moving it further back. Okay, now we're at the right spot.
As boos come from the crowd.
Here we go. Siegel lining up for this free kick. Will she shoot? Will she pass? Could the game end here?
Still waiting.
There's the signal. Siegel's shot curves wide.
She was trying to curve it into the right post, but it didn't have enough arc on it.
Yeah, had a little too much arc on it, actually, as that curved wide, but it didn't have enough of a downward arc. That's definitely true, as it came in both high and wide.
Almost looked like the wrong arc. It didn't come in enough.
Brookline missing the player that usually takes those free kicks as Mirabelle Kesselman still out hurt. It is Elin Lindgren-Palm, the right side back, who just kicked that one. And Haley Ament gets the favorable deflection on the far side to get a Brookline throw-in. Ament throws it in, looking for Hammond. Knocked out of bounds, stays Brookline ball. Brookline staying on the attack here in the opening minutes of overtime, but this throw-in cut off and kicked away. Oh, that bounced out of bounds, took a weird spin and bounced off the body of Ament, and it'll be Braintree ball.
And the turning point in this game for Brookline has been after they got that second goal, they've controlled possession and the attacking chances.
Now Leshley takes this one, swings it over to Vianello. Vianello dribbling, cuts around one defender. Now gets a pass through to Freeze. Freeze being pestered over the back, but curves away from it. Pass across to an open Chernychev. Chernychev over to Ament. Ament dribbling, takes off, cutting in, crosser through. Leshley tried to tap it, blocked at the last second. I think that might have been Mia Francis who was back there and blocked it as it rolled past Whalen.
Mia Francis saving the season for Braintree.
No handball call there as Braintree takes it, but it's kicked right back by Lindgren-Palm. Goes off ahead into open space. Still battling for it. And McKenna Hammond chases it down. Sydney Freeze looking a little hobbled as Chernychev passes it back to Lindgren-Palm. Lindgren-Palm sends it back to Hall. Hall kicks it up the middle. Goes to Leshley. Leshley hit in the back, but recovers the ball. Pass over to Ament. Ament trying to dribble through, but stopped by the double team. Kicked up the line. Pass back, knocked away by Ament towards the middle. Booted away, blocked forward by Siegel. Hammond and Freeze giving chase, but it's picked up by Whalen.
Siegel was looking for Sydney Freeze, but had to tap it with one touch and couldn't control it.
Whalen slices the punt here. Kicked back by Vianello up the middle. Hammond wasn't ready for it, and it's kicked away. Off the head of Chernychev, and they're going to call a foul on Chernychev for getting a little too grabby on that jump ball there. And so with 5.5 to go here in the first overtime, it's going to be a free kick chance for Braintree. A bit far for a shot, a bit centered, more than you like for a potential crosser. We'll see what they opt to do as Riley Burke lines up to kick this one. Sends it flying towards the box. Headed, goes dangerously straight down inside the box, but Leslie clears it out. Fighting for the ball, Braintree corrals it, pass back, pass forward, booted away by Lindgren Palm. Chase to the ball, I think O'Sullivan gets there first. Hammond forced her to touch it. Oh, no, she didn't touch it. And they're going to say it's Braintree ball. Throw in. Battle on the wing. Body's going flying. And it's deflected out of bounds. Stays Braintree ball.
Well, Lindgren Palm is playing more of an attacking winger role. She's been brought back into defense as soon as Vianello really came into that position.
Well, it's after Kesselman went out from that defensive position that she came in on defense. That's what the difference has been.
And showing her versatility.
Throw in, goes to Hammond, taps it towards the middle, knocked away. But now stolen back briefly by Hammond, but it rolls out of bounds and will be Braintree ball.
Hammond just tapped it a bit too far. Referees conversing.
And a throw in here up the line. Tapped back. Hammond, pressure from behind. They get the pass away. Tight space, goes out of bounds. No deflection off Brookline this time. It'll be Warriors ball. Ament throws it in. Looking for Freeze. Freeze in a tight space. Ball's knocked loose. Rolls out of bounds. Braintree ball. Brookline's not been having good luck with those bounces in these tight plays on the far side of the field. With 3:25 and counting on the clock here in the first overtime. And we got a substitution in for Braintree. Throw in. Deflects along. Down the far side. Braintree with the ball cut off. And another favorable deflection for Braintree. They keep the ball.
Well, Jesse, you got to think it's a game of inches. Lindgren Palm's goal just barely tipped above the goalkeeper when it got blasted. But these little bits of inches, the karma's almost coming back now.
And that's an inch too far for Braintree. Out of bounds goal kick. Braintree tried to inch their way up the field, like you said, Sam, but they just ran out of room there. So hard to move it along those tight spaces from out of bounds. Sherwin lifts this goal kick into open space, headed back by Braintree, but the loose ball is going to be kicked out of bounds by Hall. Just over 2 minutes left. I think, if I recall correctly, that the clock is going to freeze for stoppage time and overtime as well, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. More subs coming in. Tapped back, tapped away, and Leslie sending one forward. Hammond trips and falls, and there's no call. They're saying she just slipped on the turf. Would have been a huge chance for Brookline there, but instead they have a quick throw in. And it's lost out of bounds, goes right back to Braintree, and the clock is stopped at 2 minutes for stoppage time.
Jesse, that's what happens with this wet turf. That little bit of rain that happened earlier today definitely playing a role. Also looked like Hammond may have been a tad bit offside, even if she got to it. Would have been a close call.
This one kicked up the line, deflects back. Leslie couldn't get it, but it's knocked away by Chernychev, kicked back the other way by the Womps. Chased down by Hall. She sends it back to Sherwin. Sherwin lifts it quickly. Corralled by the Womps, but stolen back by Freeze. Freeze taking off, running with it. Freeze lifts one for Vianello. Vianello with a chance. Vianello charging in. Defender to meter. Charges in, gains the edge. Looking for a pass. Gets blocked out of bounds. And I think it's going to be a... Oh, they call a goal kick. They're saying it wasn't deflected, which I don't know how, but, you know, hard to see from our angle, I guess. It wasn't touched by any of the Braintree defenders.
And just little things, a ton of luck like that for Braintree this game. Brookline had it all early with that goal.
Leshley heads it. Hammond taps it back. Vianello dribbling with it again. Lifts one. Hammond lets it bounce past her, and it's knocked away by Braintree. Chased down by Ament. Ament gives to Siegel. Siegel sends it back to Hall. Hall boots it up high. Bounces off a head and off another. Freeze trying to battle for it. It's kicked and it rolls out of bounds. Braintree ball.
Yet again, Braintree ball, and it seems like the last 5 times it's been called for Braintree, Brookline just cannot catch a break.
It's been tough breaks for Brookline on these deflections as this one goes off ahead. Bouncing along, kicked away. This one flies way downfield. McGee's got it. McGee pass for Chernychev into traffic. Chernychev gets it away to Leshley. Leshley. Oh, that's it. First overtime's over, folks. And we now go into double overtime. And now it'll be another 10-minute overtime period for this second overtime. And again, it'll be next score wins. But if there's no score after this upcoming second overtime period, we will go to shootouts here at Parsons Field.
Well, Jesse, since you put me on the spot about who I thought who would score in extra time whatsoever, I have a couple questions for you. One, who do you think would happen with that? Also, do you think this game is going to be decided in extra time or go to penalties?
I'm gonna answer both. I think this is going to shootouts. That's my prediction.
I definitely agree. It's been a defensive game all along. Both teams have really figured out their defense. They've been playing a 3-back zone, intercepting every ball that comes towards them.
Well, we've seen 2 predictions in this booth be wrong so far. First, the results in regulation and the results in overtime, although you didn't specify first or second overtime. So your bets for Freeze for Brookline or Ranieri for Braintree could still come out.
Well, I said second overtime, about 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Midway.
Still
could happen.
All right, 10 minutes back on the clock. Double overtime, here we come. A trip to the round of 8 on the line here at Parsons Field. And here we go. Ranieri sends this one back, and it's lifted across midfield. Bouncing along, tapped forward by Francis. Francis still battling with it. Francis cleared out.
And that's Brookline's zone defense being so effective when they can get multiple defenders to close in.
This one thrown in, and it's corralled by Braintree. They try and kick one towards the box, but it goes wide, out of bounds, goal kick.
And that's what it does. They force Braintree to one side, and Braintree fails to get a quality chance.
This one kicked up the field, looking for Hammond. Hard collision for the ball. And now a fight for the ball. It's going to be recovered by Leshley. Swings it out to Ament on the near side. Ament off and running with it. Pass for McKenna Hammond. Taps it back, but nobody there, and it's taken away by Carr. Carr passed it up to Ranieri as McKenna Hammond goes down briefly. Ranieri's pass stopped by McGee, kicked away by Hall. Towards midfield, it goes off the head of Burke, off the head of Freeze. Now Vianello boots it forward, off the head of O'Sullivan, and we've got an injured Braintree player down. And we got an injured we got 2 injured players down here in double overtime as McKenna Hammond is down for Brookline. I didn't quite see who it was for Braintree.
And we can just hope that these are cramp problems. The way McKenna Hammond's moving her legs signals that.
But, I mean, we thought the same about Kesselman, and we still haven't seen her since she checked out of the game with her injury late in the second half. So we're going to have to keep an eye on things.
Does look like Hammond is stretching her legs out now.
And the Braintree player, Erin Kelly, gets back up. So does McKenna Hammond. This will be a drop ball for Braintree. Because play was stopped while it was still a live ball, this is what you have to do. You do a drop ball.
Looks like it's going to be a drop ball for Braintree.
And here's the kick. It's downed by Lindgren Palm, but she gets tangled up. Ball's taken away. An open chance for Braintree. Off to the races. A shot sails high. A huge chance. I think that might have been Hannah Carr who had that chance. I'm not sure. But a huge chance for Braintree, and they're not able to capitalize. That wasn't Carr. That's my mistake, because Carr's still in the midfield. That was a big chance for Nugent, is who that was. Caitlin Nugent had that opportunity, but sailed that shot high, and now a goal kick for Brookline.
Nugent was just trying to rifle it from net, coming from the left side. Just could not get on top of it.
Braintree working the ball forward again, but stood up there. They have to pass back. Now this kick blocked. Stolen away by Brookline. Kicked up field for Freeze. Freeze controls the ball. Goes near side to an open Ament. Ament dribbling, looking, taking off with it. Going up the near side. Tries a kick. It's deflected by McKenna. Hammond chasing after it. Hammond gets tangled up, but keeps the ball. Shot. Oh, it's knocked out of bounds by the defender. That almost looked like it was going to be an own goal, but it was not.
Looks like it was Riley Burke crashing forward to get it. And she just misses committing an own goal.
And now a corner kick chance for Brookline to try and end it here. I saw one sub checking in. I think it was Priscilla Hill. Kick flies in, headed out of the box. Chased down by Paige Hammond, who's checked back into the game. Passes it back to McGee. McGee up to Chernychev. Back to Hall. Hall upfield to Freeze. Freeze turns around, sends it up the wing. Dribbling in with it is Hill. An open chance. A shot blocked down. Freeze couldn't corral it. Oh, still nobody can corral it. Now it's cleared out. Up to Ranieri, who sends it up for Nugent. Nugent bringing it up the far side. 6:40 on the clock here in double overtime. Nugent running up with it, looking, matched up with Lindgren Palm. Her crosser is knocked out of bounds by Lindgren Palm, and now it's going to be a corner for Braintree as they hope to end it.
Well, Nugent was just running her way by Lindgren Palm, part of Brookline's zone defense, waiting back on a lot of those crosses, but it definitely comes with some cons as now a corner opportunity.
This one flies in, caught by Sherwin. Sherwin punts this one out the far side, and it's just going to go out of bounds as Brookline hadn't quite gotten back the other way after defending that corner.
It's now Brookline.
Throw in here. Deflects down, kicked out of bounds again by Brookline. It'll be Braintree ball.
Brookline, total of 5 defenders back.
Throw in, controlled by Braintree, but now the pass disrupted and kicked away. Deflects right back, but Chernychev boots the other way, but that is again going to be sliced and fly out of bounds. It'll be another Braintree throw-in.
Braintree just controlling the possession. Brookline bending, but still not breaking yet.
Midway through double overtime, 5 minutes to go before potential shootouts. As this ball being wrestled for, and it's going to roll out the back end and be a goal kick. You could see one of the Braintree players trying to fish for a foul inside the box, but Hall quickly put her hands up to show she wasn't doing anything there. Hall kicks this one out to Ament on the near side. Ament kind of trapped there. It goes out of bounds. Braintree ball, no deflection. Throw in for Braintree. Header towards the middle. Kicked away by Chernychev. Corralled and booted away by Hill. Flies upfield. Kicked away by O'Sullivan. Downed by Leshley. Leshley kicks it forward. Freeze trying to make a break for it. Freeze does corral the ball. Spins off her defender. Freeze trying to gain the edge. Freeze trying to cut back. It's knocked out of bounds by the defense, and it'll be another corner kick for Brookline.
Sydney Freeze trying to find across multiple attackers at the back post for Brookline, and that's what Sydney Freeze does. Even if she's not scoring or getting an assist, she draws defenders to her, allowing for other opportunities, and in this case, getting a corner.
Corner kick coming in from McKenna Hammond. Flies in high, punched away by the goalie. Hammond chasing after it, sends a crosser, but nobody there, and it's booted away. Lindgren Palm boots it back the other way. Hammond taking off to try and get after it, but it's chased down by Whalen.
Whalen coming up big. A lot of traffic she's had to deal with these last couple chances.
3 minutes and about 12 seconds to go here in double overtime. Still knotted up at 2 apiece. Few header deflections. And Leshley kicks it the other way. Headed back. Ament goes for the deflection, but it deflects back to Braintree. They send it upfield. Race to the ball. Hall's going to get there first and go out of bounds with it. It'll be Braintree ball.
Mabette Hall getting to it with Nugent chasing. 2:35 to go about, and towel penalties. Both these teams have had near chances here in this overtime and the first overtime. It's been an evenly matched game so far. Brookline got the first goal. So referee.
Sub was coming in for Braintree as this throw in. Bouncing. And a crosser flies dangerously. Oh, but they say it went out the back line. Before they kick the crosser, it will be a goal kick.
Almost would have been a perfect chance.
Sherwin sends this upfield. It's deflected right back, but kicked forward by Paige Hammond. Stopped by Braintree. They pass it forward. Send it further forward. Blocked by Hall. Couple deflections. Winds up with Chernychev. Sends it forward for McKenna Hammond. Deflects it to the outside to Ament. Ament taking off after it and disrupts the attempted clear by Kelly, but gets no deflection, and that's going to be Braintree ball.
Haley Ament trying to cut around to get it. As Brookline with a total of 4 defenders back now, they move more into a defensive shape.
Sorry, windowsill again. Off the throw in, it's Carr. Carr passes forward. Now this kick to the middle knocked away by Lindgren Palm. Bounces up to Freeze. Freeze taps it towards the middle for Leshley. Leshley passes to herself. Leshley working upfield with it. Leshley turns around. Turns back around the other way, trying to juke out multiple defenders, but she's cut off by, I think, Kelly. As it's cleared away, goes back to Ament, not out of bounds. Now knocked out by Ranieri. And it will be Brookline ball.
Well, Anna Leshley has made so much of an impact through her dribbling and defense.
Throw in goes to Chernychev, lifts one towards the box. Header goes back out. Loose ball chased down by Freeze, taps it over to Paige Hammond. Lifts it forward. And that, I do believe, is the end of double overtime. And folks, for the second year in a row, we are going to see PK shootouts here at Parsons Field. Boy, Sam, did you get a doozy of a first playoff game to call?
Boy, it's been a crazy game. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And it was the same way with my first ever hockey game, the 1-to-1 game where Jack O'Connor made that absurd amount of saves.
All right, folks. So to lay out how I'm going to show shootout results on the scoreboard graphic in the bottom left corner, I'm going to show an O if the shot goes in and it's a good goal. I'm going to show an X if it is an unsuccessful shot. So O means offense 1, X means defense 1. You know, just like X's and O's.
Yeah.
The way this works is best out of 5 rounds. Both teams will shoot best of 5 rounds. If a team takes a lead that cannot be overcome within 5 rounds, like if a team goes up 4-2 after 4 rounds, then the other team can't come back because there's only 1 round left. So then the game would just end there. However, if we go to 5 rounds and there still hasn't been a winner decided, we just keep going until there is. So,
and that's the fun of it, Jesse. I've seen some games, professional games, that have gone 16-15 on penalties. You never really know how long it's going to go. That's just part of the suspense.
Yep, I'm just going to try and zoom in a little more so we can get a better view. If you guys will pardon me, we usually take all the penalty kicks from one side. I'm not sure which side we're taking them from, though.
Should be evident in a minute or 2.
Yeah. It's just tough because it's a different elevation depending on which side the shots are going to be. We'll see. And considering my camera's not going to have to move, it should be okay. Even if the window sill falls on it, I won't have to worry. But it's going to be, we had one correct prediction so far, and that was my prediction that this was going to go to shootouts.
I had a feeling Sydney Freeze was gonna get her chance, and really Braintree's defense just didn't break the way I thought they were gonna. I thought that there was gonna be some more holes, but there just wasn't. And
all right, it's gonna be here on the left side net. So Liv Whalen takes her spot between the pipes. Julia Cherwin's going to stand off to the side for her turn.
Season just rides on this.
Boy. And how about the contrast in netminders today? Julia Cherwin, a senior. This could be the last game of her career if things break a bad way. Liv Whalen, a freshman in net. Just her second career playoff game, and she's being forced to defend PK shootouts. You never know what you're going to get come the playoffs.
And man, has she stepped up to the occasion in this one. Liv Whalen, she's made a bunch of great saves, dealing with the likes of Sydney Freeze. The goal from Lindgren Palm. Liv Whalen almost made a save on that. And it all comes to this.
Indeed.
Both these team seasons just comes to best of 5.
And that will decide it all.
Decide who moves on, whose last game it is, who has a memory which they'll never forget.
And here we go. Looks like Brookline will be shooting first, and it's going to be Sydney Freeze who will give us our first penalty kick of this shootout. I see some notes in the live chat from a number of people cheering on both teams. We'll see what happens here.
Versus the freshman, Liv Whalen.
Liv Whalen in net. Sydney Freeze taking the shot. Here we go to start the shootout. And it's in. Sydney Freeze starts Brookline off with a positive result.
Liv Whalen was dancing around a little bit, angled to the right. Sydney Freeze getting it to Whalen's blind spot in the bottom left corner. Whalen definitely was giving up that part of the net more.
And now the first shot will come from Caitlin Nugent for Braintree. And she missed it! She missed it wide!
Caitlin Nugent tried to chip it around.
Tried to go for that high right corner and just missed. And now Anna Leshley will try to give Brookline a guaranteed lead through 2 rounds. If she scores here, Braintree will not be able to come back this round, but they would be able to cut the lead back to 1. We'll see what happens here. Anna Leshley against Liv Whalen. Brookline up 1-0 here in the shootout. Buries it. Anna Leshley opts for the slow roller, and it works perfectly, completely faked out Whalen.
Jesse, Liv Whalen, she looked dazed with that one. She just trickled it by, and Whalen didn't even make an attempt. She just stared at the ball, flinched for a second, and now it's 2-0 Brookline here in penalties.
Now a shot is in. Braintree answers right back, and it's still a 1-goal margin here in the shootout.
That's Hannah Carr who scores it.
And now for Brookline, their number 16, Haley Ament. Her first game back in weeks after returning from injury. Can she come through with a clutch play here? And it's in. Whalen got her hands on it, but it wasn't enough.
And that shot was right at Liv Whalen. It tipped off about her right hand. Whalen, she's made a couple great plays on the ball, but just a little bit of bad luck. She tipped it back in her own net. And this, Jesse, a game with this close of margins, little things like that matter.
Riley Burke now lining up for Braintree against Sherwin. And it's in. Braintree staying right on Brookline's heels. It's a 3-2 margin after 3 rounds as Riley Burke scores that one. And now it will be McKenna Hammond for Brookline. And it's stopped. Liv Whalen with a huge stop. Hammond tried to go for a slow roller of her own, but Whalen reads it well. Oh wait, they're debating over this? Are they saying it went over the line?
Or it could have been that she came too early.
What's happening?
It looks like she came off her line before Hammond kicked the ball, so it's going to be a redo.
Oh my gosh. Oh, she came off the goal line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good call, Sam. I wouldn't have thought of that. Okay, McKenna Hammond gets a chance at redemption and takes advantage. Put a little more juice on it this time and gets it done. Brookline maintains their perfect record with a little help from a false start. by Liv Whalen. If Julia Cherwin saves this shot, Brookline will be headed to the round of 8. It would be a 4-2 margin with 1 round to go. Braintree would not be able to come back. Here we go. Maya Ranieri's shot is in. And it's 4-3, but Brookline can still end it right here, right now. Velena Chernichev, who scored the equalizer in regulation, could potentially end it here. If she scores a 5th goal, then Braintree, having missed their first shot, would not be able to come back within 5 rounds. Velena Chernichev, the senior co-captain, who scored the tying goal in the second half. Can she send Brookline to the round of 8? She did it! Velena Chernichev! Brookline wins the shootout!
A game to remember forever for Velena Chernichev. The regular time equalizer, the penalty winner for the senior co-captain.
Let's take a look back at that one again. Velena Chernichev, 1 goal needed to win it. And she opts to go to the right side and puts it home. And the Brookline Warriors survive the upset scare from Braintree and come away with the shootout victory. 5-3 the final in the shootouts. Clinched in the top of the 5th round. All 5 Brookline players score. And boy, what a game, Sam, and how huge was that false start off the line call a couple of rounds ago, as it looked like Braintree was going to have a chance to tie things up. But with a second chance, McKenna Hammond able to keep the good times going for Brookline, and they go 5 for 5 in the shootout.
What a game is right, Jesse. And a small thing for the freshman goalie, Liv Whalen, coming off the line. A freshman mistake, proving costly. But a game to remember forever for Velena Chernichev. She's hopping on only 1 leg. She was down a minute ago. The adrenaline rush. A career game.
And boy, not a single save from either side throughout that shootout. But that one miss wide by Caitlin Nugent in the first round ended up being the difference maker. And what a thriller of a game this was.
What a thriller was right. And again, Jesse, it comes down to these little things. Caitlin Nugent just missing that first penalty. Liv Whalen coming off the line a little bit early. Those are the things that decide these games.
Well, that is going to do it with this game here. We got some final notes in the live chat from Connor Christopher saying, "Let's go, Velena," and from G Freeze saying, "Congrats, Warriors." And the Warriors will be moving on. Their season will continue, but first, I do want to give a shout out to Braintree. What a great season they had. They proved that they should not be underestimated. This is a program that is going to keep, in my opinion, is going to keep building and keep being a sneaky opponent that teams have got to watch out for. So to Braintree, I say, head up, keep fighting, come back next year. And to the senior class, Audrey Dennison, Kenzie O'Sullivan, Riley Burke, Clodag Horan, Megan Fahey, Brianna Murphy, Colleen Siebert, Erin Kelly, Kiana O'Sullivan, Hannah Carr, Ciara Zolano, Summer Lamont, Oriath McGowan, and Lucy Solomon. To the Braintree seniors, I say this: take pride in what you've built with this program and know that you're leaving it in a better spot for the youngsters to carry forward. But for Brookline, don't stop yet, because you've got a date with a round of 8 for the 4th straight year. This senior class has gone to the round of 8 every single year of their high school careers. And for Anna Leshley, Sydney Freeze, and Velena Chernichev, who all made the varsity team as freshmen, that's 4 straight years going to the round of 8 as a member of the varsity squad. And how fitting that they were 3 of the ones involved in that shootout, and that 2 of them were involved in the 2 regulation goals, with Freeze getting the assist on the first and Velena Chernichev scoring the second. What a game.
Definitely, Jesse. Sydney Freeze, she played great. And what part of what she does, she distracts. As the striker, all the defenders, for somebody like Velena Chernichev to score the equalizing goal. Brookline so dangerous with a bunch of different weapons on offense. And Leshley, her dribbling skills incredible. She made a lot of crucial defensive plays, a lot of close plays that could have dictated the game. And it's fitting for all 3 of them. Seniors.
Recapping the action really quick, it's easy to forget that this started with a first varsity career goal for Elin Lindgren Palm back in the first half, assisted by Sydney Freeze. But then Braintree answered back with scores by Peyton Kluwer and Hannah Carr to flip the script and take a 2-1 lead into halftime. But Brookline on a crazy play into the box off a free kick from Mirabelle Kesselman resulted in a game-tying score by Velena Chernichev that's ultimately sent the game to overtime, which then turned into double overtime, which then turned into PK shootouts. And Brookline, with the aid of a false start violation on the goalie, goes 5 for 5 in their PK shootouts to clinch the victory and move on to the round of 8. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all so much for watching today. Thank you to all the fans who showed the good vibes in the live chat today. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this broadcast. Check out the description section down below for some helpful links. You can find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, girls and boys, varsity, JV, and freshmen. You can also find some links related to our local charity spotlight, Brookline Cares. And you can also find some links related to me, my personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or you can also just find my email and just email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And don't forget to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Brookline defeats Braintree in shootouts. Final official score is 3-2 from Parsons Field. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night. And